It's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Hey y'all, welcome to Happy Wednesday. It's your boy Chris Avalon. Welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, the show we basically talk about all things going on in celebrity news and hot topics. So if that's a show for you, definitely stick around. We got a lot of tea to spill today. So we're going to talk about, there's a lot of award nominations that came out. We got the Razzie Award nominations. We got the iHeartRadio Music Awards, where Lady Gaga is going to be recognized as Innovator of the Year, and Mariah Carey is going to be named the Icon. I don't know if it's of the year or the century. We'll find out when we get to the article. There's a story that was floating around ever since yesterday about Ryan Gosling, sorry. It was in talks of starring a Star Wars movie that Shawn, Levy, who directed Deadpool and Wolverine, is in talks to film. So much about that. Plus, Keanu Reeves is saying that he feels he's a little too old to be playing John Wick. Chris Brown has hit Warner Brothers Discovery with a $500 million lawsuit from that, the little docuseries they had over there on HBO. An ID channel. So it's about that. Plus, there's another day, another Diddy documentary. So we got something coming out where they're going to be going in on his white party / freak offs, that sort of thing. Nelly's still putting his damn foot in his mouth in regards of this whole Trump inauguration situation. And he's dragging Beyonce into his mess. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, there are rumors floating around. Madonna went and posted some pictures on her Instagram yesterday with director Baz Luhrmann, who, directed movies like Moulin Rouge and Elvis. And now the rumors are swirling that he might be the one directing her long-delayed biopic. So we'll get into those rumors and things. And then speaking of rumors, there's a word going around that Justin Timberlake is trying to avoid Britney Spears after she started spilling all the intimate tea in her, speaking of, because, the biopic is going to be coming and stuff. We don't know when that is, but in her memoir, The Woman in Me. And so we're going to talk about that. Plus, Caitlyn Jenner, they dragging her on social media for continuing to support Donald Trump. But Donald Trump out here talking about you do not exist as a human being because you are transgender. But that old grifter is out here still bending the knee and looking a crack at that orange ass. And he don't even see her. They were talking about congrats, Bruce. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, speaking of awards, the GLAAD Media Awards were announced a couple of hours ago. So we'll get into that during our LGBT segment, and that's all that we have going on today. And if anything else spills out throughout this episode, because it's a live stream, if any breaking news, y'all already know what to do. Throw it up in the group chat. This is a live interactive show, but before we get to those topics, if you can do me a solid and hit that like button and that subscribe button. Also, be sure to smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Okay, so now let me hit my banner. And without further ado, let's get into topic number one. They went and changed my background. They put it gray. Remember, it was like a different color, but we're gonna work on that. So the Razzie Awards were revealed, and it looks like Joker Folie à Doudou is leading the Razzie Award nominations, which recognize the worst movies and performances of the year, which they racked up a total of 7 nominations. And also the Little Monsters, they heard about this, and so they already pissed off in regards of Lady Gaga being one of the worst actress nominations for the Razzies. But we'll get into their stuff in a minute. But let's go by what the Deadline article. So it says in the running for Worst Picture at the 45th Golden Raspberry Awards, they said that Borderlands, Joker Folie à Doudou, Marvel's Madam Web, Francis Ford Coppola's passion project Megalopolis, or as we should call it, Megaflopolis, because it was a huge box office bomb, and presidential biopic Reagan, which starred another Trump supporter. What's his name? Jack Quaid's father, Dennis. Yeah, so that movie flopped. I didn't even know that movie came out. I had heard rumblings about it, but I ain't know nothing about that damn Ronald Reagan movie. But anyway, so they said, not coincidentally, all 5 are tied with 6 Razzie noms apiece. Those film helmers are up for the director prize, except for Coppola. Jerry Seinfeld took that fifth slot for his Pop-Tarts comedy Unfrosted, which I had heard that was like one of the worst movies of the year. And I've even heard people who are like real big Seinfeld fans say how they were disappointed in that film. Me personally, I've never been a real Seinfeld fan. He's not my cup of tea in regards of like um comedy and stuff. Like I don't find him funny. So I never understood, like even watching even Seinfeld, I never got the appeal of Seinfeld. He was just never my judge. But when you got hardcore Seinfeld fans out here saying that Pop Tarts comedy Unfrosted was god awful, when they was hoping that it was going to be similar to like the Tetris movie or even like what was it, the hot Cheeto situation that they came out with, that one that was on Hulu, I believe, where it was some of that, what was the hot Frito, something like that, with I think Eva Longoria was on it in it, or I think she was behind the scenes in it, but I think she was also in it. I never got around to watching that film, even though it is on my list of films that I wanted to watch, but I never got around to that film, unfortunately. But I'm gonna get around to it. So they said, from How the Mighty Have Fallen department, among the men and women nominated for acting Razzies are Academy winners Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga for Folie à Deux, Kate Blanchett for Borderlands, Ariana DeBose, Argyle and Craven the Hunter, and John Voight, Megalopolis, and Reagan. And it's sad because, you know what, I like Ariana DeBose, but she's been just falling in a lot of shitty movies lately. I'm glad that she got it for, she got her Oscar for playing Anita in West Side Story, even though that movie bombed. But it was I thought the movie was good based off of, what Steven Spielberg put together. A lot of people didn't go see it. I saw it at home. It was a long ass movie, by the way, but then the original movie was long. And I like what she brought to the film, but it was sad that the only time we got two Latinos to win an Oscar was based off of playing the same damn part. When you had Rita Moreno played the part like 60 something plus years ago, and then you had Ariana DeBose winning it for West Side Story. But Argyle, god awful. I have not seen Craven the Hunter yet. I want to see it. I've heard people say that Craven is not as bad as everybody's trying to make it out to be. So I'm just gonna wait until it pops up on one of the streaming services, because I already know it's available on digital. And I'm gonna wait until the streaming service starts to show it. I'm trying to think, because it's Warner Brothers, more than likely it's gonna no, it's Sony. I'm sorry. I don't. Well, who knows where they're gonna outsource it, because Sony doesn't have a streaming service. So more than likely it'll probably, like Madam Web, end up on Netflix. So I'll just wait maybe a month or two, and then it'll probably pop up on Netflix. Sidebar: I'm already irritated because who ain't been in office, but not even 72 hours. And already Netflix, is going up in a damn price, because we see how you corporations are starting to do. Y'all align yourselves with, all you oligarchs and robber barons all starting to align yourselves with a certain regime, and then y'all want to start hiking up your prices. You ain't gonna be surprised. I mean, and I'm glad that Netflix has really been doing the thing in regards of like more people are subscribing and stuff. But if y'all thinking that people are gonna be paying $25 a month with no ads, y'all have lost your damn mind. So what else? Oh, so they said Unfrosted got 4 total Razzie noms, and The Crow reboot has 2. Winners will be announced March 1st, the day before the Oscars. Now, I believe this week we're supposed to get the nominations for the Oscars. I'm looking forward to hearing that. But in the meantime, I'm not surprised with The Crow being on there, because everybody said how bad that movie was. And I think also, I'm curious to see how bad it is. I have not gone to the movies to see it. I kind of just, based off of the trailer and everything, I really wasn't that impressed. And then hearing all the reviews and reading all the reviews and watching all the reviews from the YouTubers that I trust, that I watch a lot of the review shows, I was like, I'm not wasting my money on no damn Crow. So I'm gonna wait until it comes up on one of the streaming services, which you already know it's about to soon. And I don't know which one, but whenever it pops up, I'll go on there and I'll give it a gander, and then I'll probably be pissed off. And then, but no, not really. I wouldn't be that pissed off, because we all have the Brandon Lee movie, and we still hold that one to a high standard. So, and then the the Nine Inch Nails music that was in that film, so we have that one. So let's go through this real quick, and then we can move on to the next topic. So this is Worst Picture: Borderlands, Joker Folie à Deux, Madam Web, Megalopolis, and Reagan. Best Worst Actor: Jack Black, Dear Santa, which the whole thing about Satan thing. I heard that movie was bad too. Zachary Levi, Harold and the Purple Crayon. Well, look, his horrible acting ass is over there doing them old, Christian radicalist movies and stuff. whatever. So then we got Joaquin for Folia Doo, Dennis Quaid for Reagan, and Jerry Seinfeld for Unfrosted. Actress, worst actress, Kate Blanchett, Borderlands. Well, I think everybody was bad in that damn movie. Lady Gaga, Folia Doo, Bryce Dallas Howard, Argyle, Dakota Johnson, Madam Web, and Jennifer Lopez for Atlas. Sidebar, I got some tea on Jennifer Lopez and Jessica Chastain. So word on the curb, because I got this from a source. I ain't gonna tell you who because I don't want them to lose. Well, I don't want something to happen because So apparently there was word that because with the fires and everything that's going on in LA, Jennifer Lopez was actually looking at Jessica Chastain's apartment in Midtown that she was looking to purchase, but the real estate person said that they don't think that's going to happen, that she's going to get the place. They said she was a little high maintenance and all this other stuff, and this is a very trusted source, so I be knowing people who know people who know people, and then he told me this, but I ain't going to say who it actually is because I don't want something to happen or whatever. If they're a tenant, if they work there, whatever the case. But I was like, ooh, damn, do I look like the type of face that people just should be supplying this celebrity information to? I do. Because y'all know what we do over here. Okay, so then it says supporting actor, Jack Black, voice only for Borderlands, Kevin Hart for Borderlands, Shia LaBeouf, he was in drag for that movie. For Megalopolis, Tahar Rahim for Madam Web, and John Voight. Well, anything John Voight is in, he's god awful in. I think now he is, but back in the day he wasn't. Then supporting actress Ariana DeBose, Argyle Craven Hunter, Leslie Ann Down as Margaret Thatcher, and Reagan, Emma Roberts for Madam Web. Emma Roberts was in Madam Web? I still have not seen Emma Web. I didn't know she was in there. Amy Schumer, well, anything Amy Schumer is in, she's terrible. For Unfrosted, and FKA Twigs the Crow. I've heard so many people say they don't know what the hell they were thinking putting FKA Twigs in that movie. Now, I like FKA Twigs, and it's funny how she and her ex-boyfriend, Shia LaBeouf, are both nominated in the worst actor and actress department, respectively. Funny how that works. But everybody was saying, like, where did they find this girl? Because she is terrible. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like FKA Twigs, the musician, but it just goes to show that just because you're good at making music and being a performer does not necessarily mean that you could translate that to the screen and be an actor. And so then they have best director, screen combo, prequel, remake, ripoff, a sequel. Well, prequel, remake, ripoff, a sequel. They have The Crow, Folia Doo, Craven the Hunter, Mufasa. Damn, y'all went in on Mufasa. I heard Mufasa wasn't that bad. So I don't know if Mufasa should be on here, but I could definitely agree with Rebel Moon 2. They need to put first of all, you should have put Rebel Moon and Rebel Moon 2 in replacement of Mufasa. I don't think it's fair that you put Mufasa, like Mufasa got that straight. Because from what I've heard from people, they're like, what, it's not as good as like if you hold anything up to the original Lion King animated film from like the 90s, I don't think anything could combat with that. But what Barry Jenkins, from what I'm hearing, brought to Mufasa the Lion King, it actually elevates it and makes it's a watchable movie, but it's not something that I guess 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now, we will be holding up to this high regard like we do The Lion King. The Lion King will always be one of my all-time favorite animated movies since I've been a kid. Like I know like they have like the Snow Whites and the Cinderellas and the Sleeping Beauties, but that was like my parents' time, and I had to watch those because I was a kid and there was animated stuff. But when it comes to like my generation of growing up and you making those animated films within my lifetime, I always have to go with like The Lion King. The Lion King and Aladdin. Those are like my two favorite animated movies from Disney as a kid growing up. So I don't like the fact that they put Mufasa on his list. And then for screenplay, they have Foley Adudu. I said Jolie. Foley Adudu, Craven the Hunter, Madam Web, Megalopolis, and Reagan. So those are the picks for the Razzies. Oh, and before we get out of here, I almost forgot. So apparently, the Lady Gaga fans are mad. The little monsters are pissed off because their Lord and Savior has been put in the worst category. Well, she's got nominated for like in the worst movie category, all the other stuff. So some of the fans said the following: the Razzies can go fuck themselves because they just want attention by nominating Gaga and Joaquin there. Their excuse is the movie was bad, so everything about it was bad. Another person said a lot of Gaga scenes were cut. Critics said she was underused, and now they put her in there. It's just so effing unfair. Well, here's the thing: we're not. They don't. They're not going by what scenes was cut. They're going by what's on the screen. Now, me personally, like I said, I have not seen Foley I Do. I know it's on Max right now, so I can't judge her on what her performance was. I did hear that she was okay, and yeah, she was underused. But if that's what they usually do with these films when they do the Razzies, have y'all not ever paid attention to the Razzies, or are you only paying attention because your fave was nominated? Everything ain't always going to be copacetic and great and all this other stuff. And first of all, who really takes the, no shade, but who really takes the Razzies seriously? I just think the Razzies is just there to kind of be the thorn in the ass of the Oscars. So it's the anti, and it's like we just give the worst stuff. That's why. But I will say this: I do love the fact that Halle Berry once upon a time came out and actually showed up at the Razzies to accept her Worst Actress award for Catwoman. So I do love how she was a good sport with that. And it's just like, okay, monsters, calm down. It's not that damn serious. And look, your fave cannot excel at everything. So another person said Lady Gaga was very much not the problem in that movie. And actually, one of the biggest problems is they didn't do enough with her. Other queer stars and queer favorites included this year's Razzie's nominations list are, well, they had Ariana DeBose and Kate Blanchett. So blah, blah, blah. So yeah, so they're all upset over the fact that their girl got nominated. It's like, okay, so she wasn't used a lot. And maybe well, they needed a worse actress to put in the category, so they were going to put. I just think that maybe Lady Gaga got that straight just by default. So maybe that's what it could be. If I saw the movie, then I can go a little in further on being like, well, you know what, she wasn't even that great in the film, but I can't say that because I didn't see it. But maybe the reason why she's getting this straight is because yeah, Foley I Doodle was a horrible ass movie, which a lot of people were saying. The only people that's really going hard for is like them hardcore Joker fans or whatever. That's just gonna blindly turn an eye to the fact that this was a project that the director did not want to make. Joaquin did not want to make. Warner Brothers was so hell bent on making this damn movie, they probably offered them something they couldn't refuse, which would be a lot of money, and they took it. And they're like, you know what? So, well, since you can't beat them, join them. And if they're not going to just leave us alone about making this damn sequel because it made $1 billion, which sometimes if a movie is $1 billion thing, it's a one and done. Let it be a one and done. Everything is not meant to be a damn franchise. And I don't think that the director of the film, Todd Haynes, had any inclination of wanting to make this a franchise. So that's where they should have just left it as it was. But Warner Brothers being greedy, this is what they went with. And so then they're like, well, okay, let's just throw shit at the wall and see what's stuck and just write it up in the damn script. It doesn't have to make sense because people are too dumb that they're going to go to the movies and they're going to see the film regardless. This is probably the mindset that these dingbats that's running Warner Brothers was thinking at the time. And then when the movie came out, they were like, people were smart enough to keep their ass home. They're like, I'm not going to see that shit. Like, who asked for this? I mean, and at the same time, I'm like, you know what? The musical idea that they came up with, where it was like all in his head, a fantasy situation, and then he would do musical numbers. I'm like, okay, there's an interesting twist on this franchise. So I would have been willing to go with that. But then reading about the spoilers and all that other stuff, because I already know what happened to him at the end. All the different twists and turns and stuff they decided to take with this film, I'm just like, what? Like, you just completely, I just think you just intentionally tanked this film and just took the money and ran. So, look, that's why the movie is what it is. And unfortunately, Lady Gaga had to get the straight. So yeah, they probably could have did more with her character of Harley Quinn, but you know what? She signed on to the film and she did what they told her to do, and she was the worst part of it. I mean, look, if she wins it, then y'all could be a little bit mad. She was just nominated. I'm sure she's probably not even gonna win it. But then again, if you think about it, she just might. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Excuse me, regarding the Razzie nominations as well as the Gaga stands all upset because their fave got nominated in the Razzie category. Look, everybody can't get nominated for an Oscar. Sometimes you just got to take the good and the bad, and sometimes, okay, you want to nominate me for a bad award or whatever for being a horrible actress or actor. Okay, what that got to do with the price of tea in China? It doesn't change anything. It just is what it is. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so we have comments. Felix said he saw the movie. It was boring. Yeah, because I'm sitting there like, what's so exciting about Ronald Reagan? First of all, he was before my damn time anyway. Hello, hello, hello. Don't forget to mention how Rick Astley blamed Madonna movie for killing his career when in reality, well, here's the thing about Rick Astley. I do like Rick Astley songs. Sometimes when I be at the garden and that song, his songs be coming on, I be up in there singing. I love Never Gonna Give You Up. I love She Wants to Dance With Me. I love, a lot of the songs that he came out with. He had a lot of hits. But like it was stated, because we had this conversation, Kylie Minogue was smart to bounce from the Saw sound. And for those of you who don't know who Saw is, that's Stock Aitken Waterman. They were the one that were in charge of that whole early sound of like what she sounded like when it was like, what was it? What Do I Have to Do? Was it Your Disco Need You? Or was that later on? It was like a lot of that. So when you hear songs like a lot of those, how do I explain it? It's just like this real big 80s disco sound, and all of Soul's music sounded alike. So, um, she was smart enough to leave when she left because she was literally taking her career seriously. Rick Astley, I don't know what was his reason behind being caught up in that, and then he didn't evolve beyond that. And so I don't know how you blaming Madonna's a movie that was he even in it? Because I don't know why he would even blame her for killing his career. Oh, you talking about what's gonna be on Stars? Oh, you talking about Craven the Hunter? I think I saw that too. That was mentioned. I could wait a little longer because yeah, it took a while, especially like when I went to see when I had to see like damn, what the hell was the name of that movie? With Venom. That was on Venom. That was on Stars for a long time before it was outsourced other places. So I'm not getting Stars. Stars don't have jack crap on there that would have me wanted to get them unless well, I would say until. Well, first of all, we're supposed to be getting another Spartacus series. I'd be curious enough to watch that. And then there's supposed to be P Valley is supposed to be coming back. I don't know when that's coming back. So those would be the only reason why I would watch Stars, but then I don't have to cancel it afterwards. There's too many damn channels. And then on top of that, Netflix is going up again. Hey, hey. We are close to launch of the Tension Tool on Saturday, February 15th. Mm-hmm. Well, that's going to be good. I saw the Crow remake. It was okay, not great. They did change the story a bit. Well, I heard it was a lot of bit. You said a little bit. I heard they changed it a lot. But I feel like if you're going to change it, don't call it Eric Draven's story if it's not. Like, you can come in with a Crow story, a completely different character, and it'll probably been way more entertaining. So I watch it whenever I, can get around to it. Okay, so now speaking of Lady Gaga, there's a story that came out that and we're talking about award shows. So the iHeartRadio Award, I should say, nominations are in, and this year's ceremony will not only celebrate many of your faves, but also pay tribute to the resiliency of Los Angeles and provide resources to support aid in rebuilding its communities. So one of the things I'm noticing is an ongoing theme because of look, if they're not going to cancel award shows and this and that, if they're not going to cancel award shows, especially like when it comes to the Oscars, because I know like what was it, Stephen King at one point was trying to lead the charge and boycotting the Oscars because of what's happening in LA, and I'm like, look, the show must go on. We got to worry about climate change because that's the big problem. Unfortunately, we have a moron in the damn White House that's just getting rid of every freaking thing. So things are going to get worse before they even get better. So buckle the fuck up because these next 4 years is going to be a roller coaster of bullshit hitting us in our face as we try to maneuver through all the mess. So in regards to that, I'm glad that, a lot of people are deciding, even if the award shows are going to go on, that we're going to provide aid and we're going to raise money and we're going to do all these other things to help out a lot of these communities that are turning to ash, fire and ash, since, it was a poignant term because, the next Avatar movie is called Fire and Ash. So I was like, that's literally what LA is becoming right now. And then on top of that, we got snow in freaking Florida. What was it? In Louisiana, it's snowing. Atlanta got snow. And then I think it was even snowing in Florida. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So in the midst of that, so one of the big people that are going to be giving their flowers is none other than Lady Gaga and Mariah Carey. So Lady Gaga will be honored with the Innovator Award at the 12th Annual iHeartRadio Music Awards on March 17th at the Dolby Theater in LA. Now, Mariah Carey is also set to be crowned Icon of the Year for her decades-long career as singer, songwriter, and producer. Taylor Swift and that racist Morgan Wallen lead the nomination list up for 10 recognitions each, going head-to-head in the Artist of the Year and Best Collaboration for Fortnite Swift featuring Post Malone, I Had Some Help, Post Malone featuring Waylon categories. Additionally, Swift will be honored for her Blockbuster Eras tour, and it's named the Tour of the Century. Huh? Okay, now, I love you, Tay-Tay, but how was the Eras tour of the century? When in 2025, the century actually begun. The century actually began in like at 12 p.m. or 12 a.m. 2000. We're only a quarter into the century. Yet she's being her tour is being hailed as tour of the century. Y'all are really reaching with this, but I get it. iHeart, y'all need the ratings. So go off, knees. Now, this year's iHeartRadio Music Awards will also pay tribute to LA following the devastating wildfires affecting the entire community, with donations going to fireaidla.org. Now, contributions made to Fire Aid will be distributed under the advisement of the Annenberg Foundation for short-term relief effort and long-term initiatives to prevent future fire disasters. Well, look, I don't understand why we have to have all these donations going to these organizations when we have a whole government who should be trying to put things in order so that we protect the environment. But we know that we have administrations, one that does the bare minimum, tries to act like they're doing a whole lot, but we see them dragging their feet, but they already left. So now we got this person that's coming in that's just literally just signing executive orders, getting rid of every damn thing that can help not only the people, but our planet as well. While they're going to continue to drill, baby, drill. And then we have like this thing hovering over us that prevents like all the atmosphere and stuff from coming in, and it's starting to get lower and lower. It's starting to get colder and colder during the winters and a lot hotter during the summers. It's our ozone layer is all messed up. The glaciers are melting. Child, this planet is going to hell in a handbasket. But let's stock, let's stock up on money. Come on, oligarchs and robber barons, continue to loot our treasury while the world burns and turns to shit. So now, what else they said? But politics aside. So they said our iHeartRadio Music Awards show is not a competition. Mm-hmm. It's a night where we honor the incredible artists and songs that fans loved all year long. And this year's show will shine a light on the devastating tragedy that impacted Los Angeles and enable us to deliver in our commitment to the communities we serve. This is what the president of Entertainment Enterprises, John Sykes, had to say, and Tom Pullman, Chief Programming Officer of iHeartMedia. And they continue by saying our long-standing partnership with Fox will not only bring this celebration into millions of television homes, it will also bring important awareness to how to help those in need. Now, here's the thing. How could you say it's not a competition when award shows are competitive? So who are you trying to feed that BS to? Now, they also say artists receiving several nominations also include aespa. I don't know who the hell that is. AESPA. So aespa, Benson Boone, Billie Eilish, Bruno Mars, Chappell Roan, Charlie XCX, Doja Cat, and Fade, among many artists. Now, here's the thing. A lot of these artists I like. Did y'all see, sidebar, did y'all see that video of Benson Boone drinking, I think it was water out of a boot on his show? Okay, first of all, Benson Boone can get it, but that was just gross. Y'all already know I love me some Billie Eyelash remover. Bruno Mars, I can take a leave. Chaperone, I'm gonna take a leave because she be working my root canal nerves at times. I already know we talked about her yesterday. Charlie XCX, I love me some her. Doja Cat, I have my moments with her. And Fade, I like him too. Even though he banging out Carol G, but she love hunching other fellow reggaeton artists because remember when she was engaged to Anuel at one point, that Trump supporter. Now they said the event will be broadcasted on iHeartRadio stations nationwide and on the iHeartRadio app at 8 p.m. Eastern live, ET live on Fox. So do we get to watch it on Fox? Because it said it's going to be in the iHeartRadio app and it's going to be on iHeartRadio on iHeart stations. Well, here's the thing. I don't feel no way it's tired about it because I don't even watch it. But to me, it just seems like when it comes to the nominations, they just nominate the same damn people over and over. So, okay. But then it's the iHeart Music Award nominations. Now, Song of the Year, a bar song, Tipsy, by Shabuzi, Agora Hills by Doja Cat, Beautiful Things, Benson Boone, Espresso, Sabrina Carpenter, Greedy, Tate McRae, I Had Some Help, Post Malone featuring Morgan Wallen, Lose Control by Teddy Swims, Loving on Me by Jack Harlow, Not Like Us, Kendrick Lamar, and Too Sweet by Hosier. Or Hosier, or however the hell you say his name. Now they said Pop Song of the Year, Agora Hills, Doja Cat, Beautiful Things, Benson Boone, Espresso, Sabrina Carpenter, Greedy, Tate McRae, and Too Sweet by Hosier. Pop Artist of the Year, Billie Eilish, Chappell Roan, Sabrina Carpenter, Tate McRae, Taylor Swift. It's looking a little white up in here. Artist of the Year, Billie Eyelash Remover, Doja Cat, Jelly Roll, Kendrick Lamar, Morgan Wallen, Post Malone, Sabrina Carpenter, SZA, Taylor Swift, and Teddy Swims. You already know they're going to give it to Taylor Swift. Now, Best Collaboration, Die With a Smile, Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. Fortnite, Taylor Swift featuring Post Malone. I Had Some Help, Post Malone featuring Morgan Wallen. And it said, what is it? Like That, Future, Metro Boomin and Kendrick Lamar, Miles on It, Kane Brown, and Marshmello. Best New Artist, Pop, Benson Boone, Chappell Roan, Gracie Abrams, Shabuzi, Teddy Swims. Why do it feels like it was literally the iHeartRadio Christmas special that I just worked? Like literally these people that's named here, that literally some of them, a lot of them, well, first of all, the Best New Artist people, they were the main ones that were all there, except Chappell Roan. But it was Benson Boone, Gracie Abrams, Shabuzi, and Teddy Swims. They were all at the iHeartRadio Christmas thing that I worked with Z100. So yeah, then they had all the country people up in here, hip hop, and all that stuff. It's like, okay, hip hop artist of the year: Drake, Future, Glorilla, Kendrick Lamar, and Travis Scott. Can you imagine if Kendrick and Drake be in the same room that day? But I doubt that either one will probably be there, let alone Drake. But yeah, so those are the people so far. I don't want to sit and go through all of those and bore y'all to death. But in the meantime, I ask all of you this. What do you think of Lady Gaga and Mariah Carey being recognized at the iHeartRadio Awards? I'm like, it's cute or whatever. Gaga's going to be there with her pretentious little speech and promoting her new album. And Mariah Carey, darling, she'll be doing all of that and making sure the camera get her good side and all that other stuff. But as far as like the nominations go, in the words of my girl Willow Rosenberg when she was going through her vampire era, bored now. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Taylor Swift would get the tour of the century. Don't complain, because I don't think no other artist could make $2 billion. Not even Madonna. Because she had a tour. But the thing was, like, Taylor Swift kept going out on tour. She spent like 2 years, like, or maybe like a year. And it was like what from the last Grammys. Sidebar. I already heard that Trevor Noah is hosting the Grammys again. He probably gonna end up doing that the rest of his life. Yeah. So she kept going on tour, then she would take a break for like a month, go back out on tour. And I'm like, that's a great way to tour. Because I give me like I'll go on tour for like 3 months, I'll take a break of like 1 month, and then we go back up on tour, go out again for another 3 months. take another break. So I would do that. It's like, yeah, we need breaks in between because I'm not powering through with no full world tour. And I just heard sidebar 9 Inch Nails just announced their upcoming tour. And while I'm excited for the tour, I am sad for 2 reasons. One, I'm happy because they're coming to New York on my birthday, September 2nd. But the part I'm not happy about is at the Barclays Center. So I was talking to one of my good friends earlier, and he's like, my son was a big 9 Inch Nails fan. And he's like, we out. And he also told me he wants to get tickets for the one in Philly too. But I would like to go see 9 Inch Nails because I've never had the opportunity to see them live, unfortunately. I was like, I'm like, I just checked my damn messages. Why am I getting more? And my phone is not going off, which is annoying. What time is it? Oh, because they took my Bianca Del. Let me just stop going up in here. And then the annoying thing with my job, too. Wait, when is January 22nd? That's today. My job is so annoying. How you going to go and put out, to pick up a shift literally at 3:30 for a shift that's supposed to be in like 2 hours? Really? Like, who y'all talking? But anyway, let me not read them on the live. Okay, so yes, we are. We are a joke. But you know what? They're owning the libs, right? Okay, at what cost? Because y'all the ones that's going to be affected by this. So, them libs that you trying to own, they're okay. Kylie is nominated for Best Dance at Only to Lose to Charlie X. Oh, yeah, I didn't even go further down the list because I was just like, it was so bombarded with the country stuff that I was like, I still don't care. What about Katy Perry, Gwen Stefani, Ice Spice, and Hannaford? Probably none of them is on that damn list. Cool J got away. Are you talking about were you talking about the nominations? Because he did come out with an album last year, right? This country ghetto as hell. Well, look, 2 of my friends are already leaving. One of my friends is moving to Thailand in May. Another one of my friends is moving, who works in the makeup industry and stuff. He's moving to Toronto. And I'm like, at one point, I'm just like, why is everybody running? Like, this is the time where we gotta stay here and fight against this bullshit. I mean, because I get it, but you have to realize why everybody's got their panties in a bunch, and I don't want to make this show like heavily political because with too much stuff going on, we're being so much bombarded with a lot of politics and stuff, and I know it's stressing people out. I don't want to make this a political heavy show unless there's certain topics that have to do with Hollywood that kind of intertwines with it. So I don't want to go too heavy into it, like the Brian Tyler Cohens. Hold on, because I feel a sneeze coming. Or like the Pondering Politics, or Kyle Kalinske and all those other ones who do it better than me in regards of like getting the information and stuff out there. I mean, I watch a lot of stuff and I retain a lot of information, and I try to bring y'all the stuff in passing. But it was like, yeah, this country is ghetto as hell. uh-huh. Now Elon and the MSM are trying. Oh, you mean the MSM who are hardcore Zionists? They're a joke. I had a cackle when they said that foolishness. He literally was giving a Nazi salute. So for them trying to excuse the behavior, it's like, and look, Elon's own father came out and did a video. I wish I had the clip so I could play it for y'all. But he basically said that his maternal grandparents were Nazis. And they migrated from, I believe, Canada to South Africa because they were big on the whole Nazi-isms and all that other stuff. So they were heavily into that stuff. So he's been radicalized. He learned all that stuff from his family. And he's passing it down to him. He's doing all that shit. So when people when you have coons, because there was this one black dude that got up there, well, he had his hand, like if it's the Nazi salute, it's the sig heil, whatever, if your hand, I said, get the fuck out of here with that. Or your hand has to be turned a certain way. What would you know? Now, if somebody came after your ass as a whip, do they have to be turned in a certain way for them to be not trying to beat your ass like Harpo beat Sophia? Or Kunta Kinte when his ass got whipped? when they asked him what his name was, and he eventually called himself Toby. So was there a certain way that a white man had to hold a whip before he whooped your ass? So maybe if I put it in that term, then you can have these coons and buffoons out here stop trying to make excuses for massa. Like, stop it. Because I can go there too. We got Gen Z admitting they made a mistake. Are they retarded? I'm trying so hard not to use that word on this show, but sometimes, when it comes to people, I don't mean it in it. This politically correct stuff is really starting to get on my damn nerves where I can't call people out for what they are. I'm like, are y'all dumb? Are y'all really that dumb? I didn't think he was that emo. Why? It's because at the time, 4 years ago, or back when he was president, y'all just didn't compute what he was doing at the time because y'all weren't of age to be where it was going to affect you because you were a kid. All that Google schmoogle shit that y'all was doing in regards of being so hardcore with Palestine and Gaza and all this other stuff that was going on. Do y'all really know? Do y'all even know? Because y'all only looking at Gaza from this situation. Do you know that we have 70% interest in all kinds of wars around the world, not just in Palestine? It's in other parts of the world too. So once this whole Palestine thing gets dealt with, then what's the next thing that we're going to move on to? Because y'all just look at one little thing and think that's enough. A lot of y'all can't multitask. You only look at one little thing at a time and you think that's enough. So it's like, maybe y'all need to actually open a book. I wouldn't say read the history book because a lot of that is colonized any damn way. A lot of it is not fully accurate. Because I remember, and I've always been like this, because I remember when I was in high school and I got into it with my history teacher, who was a white man, because he tried to say that Christopher Columbus discovered America. And I continued to be, I stood 10 toes down on that shit, especially when you're someone who's of, when you have indigenous family members and your history regarding of the colonization of indigenous people, and you're going to sit there and tell me that Christopher Columbus discovered America when the fuck he didn't. He's a genocidal maniac too, just like and a colonizer like the rest of them. So when people go out and start saying that stuff, they used to piss me off, and I know that pissed my teacher off too. But I'm like, you're not gonna come up here and tell these that. And this was in the '90s when I was telling people this, when I was saying this. So yeah, he's and this is what's freaking me out too, because next week there's supposed to be. Well, I'm not going to be able to go, but when my mother called me earlier this morning to ask if I was going to be going with them to LA for my uncle's funeral and all this other stuff, and there's a lot going on where it's like I can't even get out of it, unfortunately. But then again, I also have my reasons of like, I don't know if I necessarily even wanted to go be around certain family members who never really accepted me because I'm a homosexual. So I was like, I don't want to be up in there dealing with the church and religious family members who are going to be trying to thinking they could sit me down and try to, change my ways because I like ass. So I'm like, I don't want to be around people like that. So I'm like, I'll find something to do. I'll hang out with my friends and things. I should just give them my love from, over on the West Coast. But yeah, this is kind of freaking me out when you start getting rid of people, and then there's like dangerous situations where something can happen, where a plane can get hijacked, God forbid, and then I lose more people because we got morons who are just getting rid of everything, and you got his cult leaders, his cult followers that are so happy that look, he's doing stuff. Yeah, he's doing things. He's signing a lot of executive orders, but that's going to affect all of us down the road, including you. So when you're sitting there talking about, oh yeah, he's doing things, what exactly is he doing? Because another thing is, how long has he been in office? Today is, what is it? Today is the 22nd. So he's been in office not even 72 hours. Didn't he say he was going to end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours? Because all he had to do was get Putin and Zelensky in a room together, and you need somebody really tough who's a president that can you have to have the job in order to get it done. Yeah, he said all of that, and it's funny how you bring all this up, and his people still try to find reasons. Oh, he didn't say that. I'm like, I can show you a receipt, and so that's what he said, and they'll still try to dance around that shit, and it's just frustrating dealing with people who literally have a brick wall for brains. So I really don't engage with those morons. But there was this kid that I follow on TikTok. Y'all need to follow him. He is hilarious. I posted some of his videos on my Facebook. I need to post them on Instagram too. His name is It's Luke. This white kid that just basically goes off in his car about dumb shit that these maggots say. And I just love it because he's unfiltered. He curses. He literally reminds me of me when I talk and I get irritated with stupidity from people. And the way he was talking, and then people was going in on him, and it's like, but the people with common sense were outweighing the ignorant ones. So it just goes to show that I still believe that we have hope. There's some people who actually make logical sense in this damn country. So try to tune out the negative noise and just keep your eye on the bigger picture. Because the easier thing that I look at people is like, it's easy to just pack up and run when shit hits the fan. But the real situation is when the bad times happen. Are you gonna allow them to back you up in a corner and then just you're gonna be defeated, or you're gonna actually come out swinging and fight for what you believe in? Those to me are the true people of the world, not the ones that sitting there, well, I don't like the way this country's going, so let me just pack my shit and run. I'm like, you're a pussy. That's the way I see it. Because this ain't their country. And the only reason why they doing all of this, getting rid of stuff, because they hate the fact that people of color are starting to surpass them in the wealth department. So white people are mad, but I'm like, white people are in poverty too. Now Trump is revoking civil rights acts that will work. Dr. King, Malcolm X, other activists is being undone. Oh, Lord. My head hurts from all the bullshit. That Trump just rolled back civil rights in the 60s, so it's fucking different this time. He hired people who won't fight him or send. And the worst part is the media is just not challenging him on anything. He even said, they even asked him something about TikTok, and he said that he, alongside Elon Musk, because they asked him would Elon Musk be interested in buying up TikTok, because they said they need an American on that or whatever, like they need an American partner. So now Elon Musk is looking to destroy TikTok like he did Twitter. So that's supposed to be coming. So buckle up. It's gonna be a long 4 years. Police called him out for pardoning all of but and it goes to show, like I said, he doesn't care about our military, and so he of course does not care about our police department. He doesn't give a shit about them. He doesn't care about anybody. All he cares about is, he is for sale. Like anybody who throws money in his direction, he's gonna take it. And then they would ask him, is he gonna still continue to make his little money on the side or whatever while he's president? Because he was making a lot of money on, while he was running for the past 10 years and all this other stuff. And he kind of laughed, and then he was like, how much money were these people making? He said, like, well, I think they said something in the billions. And he was like, oh, that's just peanuts to them. And then the freaking media is laughing at the shit he's saying. So you cannot trust corporate mainstream media anymore. They're in his pocket. They're scared to lose their jobs. We got Raphael Warnock and all these other morons out here who are sitting here just bowing down and bending the knee. And if they think that in 2028, that him and another corporate animal, Gavin Newsom, if y'all think it's going to be your time to come up and run for president, guess what? We're going to still be in this situation where they'll probably nominate another maggot to run, because you idiots are not going to get in office. Y'all are looking at it as, let me just go along to get along, instead of going against the establishment. People want somebody with a fucking backbone, and none of y'all have that, especially in the Democratic Party. The only one who I see that has like a bit of a backbone, and I'm really hoping that she stays the course, is AOC. I have my issues with her, but for the most part, she's been calling MAGA out on their shit. And Jasmine Crockett. So if y'all want to run out here and start this "it's my time" thing, no, your times have passed. It's like the thing, even with Hillary Clinton, nobody likes her. I couldn't stand the bitch. Still don't like her. And she was running out here trying, it's my time. Isn't that part of a lyric for the Real? Their song "It's My Time Now"? It's like, no, bitch, not your time. And that's why your ass lost, because we didn't want you. The only thing you were good for was being the wife of Bill Clinton. We wanted your husband. We didn't want you. You weren't even that good of a goddamn senator when you was in New York. See, I was not trying to go political, but here y'all go. Y'all started me up. Y'all started me up in this damn chat. Yeah, we didn't like her ass when she was in New York. She was not that good of a goddamn senator. And she really thought she was going to go and be the president because of who she was fucking. It's like, girl, that wasn't enough. What were you going to do on policies? I was right out here talking about it's her time. No, bitch, we showed you it wasn't. And it wasn't because you're a woman. You weren't. It wasn't because you're a woman. It's because your ass wasn't qualified. That's why. And just because you getting your back blown out by Bill Clinton does not give you carte blanche to being that you were the rightful heir of the presidency. That's what I said. I don't mind a woman president. I would love a woman president, but just not her. And I'm sorry, Kamala Harris didn't have it either. She wasn't that good of a candidate, and I also think it was the Democrats' fault. He said, "Yes, very true." There goes NTSB. Why did I think that was almost New Kids on the Block? They investigated all the planes accidents, and is a whole series dedicated to the investigation. It's called Mayday Air. Yeah, and I think that's what it is too. A lot of these corporations, whenever shit happens, whatever the case is, they don't want to be held liable for anything. So now when you got Trump up in there and y'all throw him a little money, he's going to protect the interests of the corporations, the people that run all the businesses. He's got their interests at heart. He does not care about you. He does not care about me. He doesn't care about any of y'all. If you got billions of dollars, millions or billions of dollars, he'll love you then. But he don't care about us average human beings. He's never cared about us. And we've been trying to tell y'all, but guess what? I don't want to hear shit because y'all voted for him. Yeah, we talked about that. I think yesterday I mentioned that he's trying to bring Vine back. And I'm like, fuck a Vine. I mean, since Vine, we've had so many other iterations of Vine where you kind of have like TikTok or YouTube Shorts and all that other stuff. So we don't really need Vine. And even if Vine were to come back, I still wouldn't get on it. First of all, there's too many goddamn apps to begin with for me to be keeping up with. So I don't care about Vine. They said Pete, no, and I don't want neither one of them. First of all, Pete Buttigieg is another one that's has no backbone. Yeah, he'll come out and say a little something here and there. He's good enough to go on the Breakfast Club and all that other shit, but he's another one that I would like. I'm not voting for him. And Josh Shapiro is another damn Zionist, so I would not vote for neither one. But everybody agreed that Pete is not the answer, especially given the climate. Well, I don't even think it has to do with him being a homosexual. I just think, like, policy-wise, I wouldn't vote for him. And Josh Shapiro, like, Pete Buttigieg is in the same boat as a Gavin Newsom. They're corporate politicians. So I would not vote for either one of them. So, and I hate when they do the whole identity politics thing, which I heard that a lot of the elder Democrats are no different than the elder Republicans, where they hate identity politics. So Nancy Pelosi, all of them, they are not for identity politics. Why do you think that AOC didn't get that position? So they don't like people trying to, rock their boat. They're so used to the bullshit and doing the bare minimum, but making billions of dollars and pocketing it with all of that. So the corporate media will feed y'all the BS. I'm gonna tell y'all the real stuff. Exactly. Vine is 90s millennials. Even back then when Vine was popping, I was never really on Vine like that. I never even used Vine, but I remember like hearing so many people were very successful off of Vine. I know T.S. Madison came from the whole Vine era, which was doing like 22 inches a weave and all that other stuff. But other people, like, I've never really gotten into Vine like that. And Vine was popping back in 2014. Ain't nobody checking the Vine no more. I was like, because I'm trying to think, what was I using back then? Like, it was MySpace, Facebook, and then like Instagram or something. But I was never really into who, Pam Anderson. That sex tape was on there. Because I was gonna say, which wife? Isn't he with a new woman? And I think he's been married multiple times. Wasn't he married to Heather Locklear at one point? Or was that Richie Sambora? I'm getting my Motley Crue who was hunching who wife mixed up. But anyway, let's move on and get back into the show. So Ryan Gosling, there's a story that's going around talking about that whether or not he's going to be involved, since it feels like we're in the whole Star Wars situation. We got Emperor Palpatine in office, going to run this country to the ground for the next 4 years. And so now more than ever, we definitely need a Star Wars movie in theaters if they could get their shit together over there at Disney and Lucasfilm, because they keep announcing things and then all of a sudden we don't get a movie. So now the latest rumor that's floating around, and this is even in this, it's made it in the trades. So before, like if Hollywood Reporter and Deadline and excuse me, Hollywood Reporter, Deadline, and Variety and all of those big trades aren't really talking about it, I would try to float around as a rumor, but clearly it's made it to the trade, so there's got to be some truth to it. So now they're saying that three-time Oscar nominee Ryan Gosling is in negotiations to top line a Star Wars movie that will be directed by Shawn Levy. Now, Shawn, I'm sure you already know, he's directed a lot of really good movies. He did most recently Deadpool and Wolverine. And then I think he directed a movie that Ryan Gosling also was in that was on Netflix. I forget the name of it, but I like Shawn Levy's work. So now details on the Star Wars project are harder to acquire than plans for the orbital planet killer. And this one is no exception. Now, Levy has been developing his Star Wars feature since 2022, and Jonathan Tropper, who collaborated with Levy on films such as This Is Where I Leave You and, oh, okay, The Adam Project. That was the name of the movie. It's funny how they put it in here, and I was trying to think of the name of the movie. The Adam Project. I actually liked that movie. Even though I think it went straight to Netflix, I don't think it was ever released theatrically. But The Adam Project actually was a pretty good movie. That should have been released in the theater. They said they've been working on the script for over a year. Now, Levy is also producing the feature via his 21 Laps banner, joining Star Wars steward Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm. Now, it's unclear when his project is supposed to be set. But Star Wars stories have run the gamut of hundreds of years, detailing the goings on of a galactic republic turned dictatorship turned rebellion. Well, don't that sound familiar? It's also unclear if it concerns Jedis and their enemies, the Sith. It is, however, to be unconnected to the so-called Skywalker saga. The story is centered on well-established and beloved characters, Luke Skywalker and his father Anakin. So it's supposed to, from what I'm hearing, it's supposed to be a standalone movie. Now, if this story turns out to be true, I would love to see Ryan Gosling in this, because you know what, Ryan Gosling, I would have to say, he's been somebody that I've been following for a long time. I actually like him as an actor. He reminds me a lot of, in the same boat as Robert Pattinson, which is like well, at one point in some ways with Robert Pattinson, he did start out doing like the Twilight and all that other foolishness, and people still tried to clown him over that. So then he retreated from the mainstream movie stuff, and I started doing more underground artsy fartsy indie movies like The Lighthouse and a lot of A24 type stuff. And I'm actually looking forward to that, what is it called, Mickey 17 movie that he's got coming out, which I think Bong Joon-ho is somebody is directing it. So I definitely want to see that. That's supposed to be coming out. I think they even dropped a trailer, an official trailer for it earlier today, which I have not gotten around to seeing it. But enough of Robert Pattinson. And I like his Batverse. Ryan Gosling has been somebody who has kind of been doing a lot of smaller little films, and then started gradually, he went from the smaller films to started doing more mainstream fare. I liked him in The Fall Guy, even though the movie, I feel like the marketing really hurt that film. He was good in it. Emily Blunt was really good in it. And even Aaron Taylor Johnson and them abs was good in it. But the movie it bombed at the box office, unfortunately. I liked him in Blade Runner 2049. That movie bombed also. But I'm a little worried in regards to that, because while Ryan Gosling does good movies, they don't really do well financially at the box office. But I do feel like, because it's a Star Wars film, that maybe based on the name alone, it'll probably get butts in seats. The problem with that is a lot of the Star Wars fans, such as myself, have been burned so many times by Kathleen Kennedy and a lot of the projects that she has been greenlighting, and then all of a sudden they don't happen. Or when you finally do put something out, The Acolyte and all these other programs, Ahsoka, they're either okay or they're just complete and utter shit. Which I would say, Ahsoka was okay. Mandalorian was good. I'm actually looking forward to Mandalorian Grogu when that comes out. Acolyte was a piece of shit. I hated that damn show. I watched the first couple of episodes and was like, okay, this is so dumb. I was done. I checked out. what was the other one that came out with Andor? Absolutely loved Andor. Looking forward to Andor season 2. But in regards to the films or whatever, I would really love for them. Like, look, it's a galaxy far, far away. Can we please tell stories that don't attach itself to the Skywalkers, to Darth Vader, to all those things? Like, I feel like this world is so big enough that you could tell so many awesome stories that it does not attach itself to Luke and Leia and Han Solo and stuff. Like, we love those characters. I grew up with those characters. I wasn't old enough to go see, what is it? A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. But I do, as a child of the 80s, I remember seeing those movies on VHS and absolutely being obsessed with that world. And even when, my parents had us, me and my siblings, in the library, we would have to pick books and stuff. I always would gravitate towards the Star Wars stuff. So while I would read all the smart educational stuff, I had to have my books where it's just like I can kind of escape as well. And because I was such a huge Star Wars fan and my dad was like big into sci-fi and stuff, I got to really read those books and kind of you know involve myself into that world. And so I really want them to finally start getting the Star Wars series on track and really start taking this franchise seriously. I'm hoping that that can happen one of these damn days. But y'all been getting on my damn nerves. Well, Kathleen specifically has been getting on my damn nerves in regards of what are y'all doing over there? Like, I'm not bashing this because I really want to see this film. Like, first of all, I trust in Shawn Levy. He has not let me down as off the top of my head in regards of like films. And Ryan Gosling is one of those actors he's awesome. So I'm hoping that we can get this off the ground. I'm really trusting they can give us a really good movie, but I don't know. I'm hoping that it gets made, but based off of, like I said, Kathleen's track record, I'm not holding my breath if we actually get this movie actually happens. But because Shawn Levy, his last film was $1 billion grossing movie with Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm thinking that this movie's actually going to get made. So I've got hopes for this one. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards to Ryan Gosling being in towards a star in a standalone Star Wars movie with Shawn Levy? Whatever your thoughts are on this story, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so before I get to your comments, let me close out that story. Oh, you saying his new wife? Oh, she was on Vine too? Doing what exactly? So Vine was popular during the YouTube prank era. That was when music went to streaming. Plus, fuck that Britney stan saying Madonna has no streaming power. Showed YouTube music stats, but it's not spot. Well, first of all, that Britney stan need to go, get bent. Because number one, while Madonna her music is still impactful and she's working on new music, who knows when it's coming out? When the last time Britney put out something? Britney having emotional breakdowns and twirling in her damn foyer in them Gerber baby panties on her Instagram and then deleting the video a couple hours after she put it up. So maybe y'all need to bottle that up and see if y'all can make that stream well over on YouTube or wherever the hell. So what is she talking? You know what? Yeah. Can't. So it doesn't count. YouTube music is better anyway. I can listen to the playlist of demos, remixes, and watch concerts from the drown world. Yeah, well, look, I usually go on you. The other day, what was the tour that I watched the Sticky and Sweet tour over on YouTube the other day. I don't know, for some reason, I was in the mood to watch the Sticky and Sweet tour, even though I've seen it so many damn times. And so I had that on in the background while I was working. It wasn't her best tour, but it was the most. But I enjoyed like some of the parts of it, especially like the first set where she comes out doing Candy Shop, and then the beat goes on, and they have like the big Rolls Royce on stage, and they said, "Yep." And Ray, look, nothing, no shade, but nothing Britney Spears has put out will ever match Ray of Light as an album. Like Britney Spears has good songs, but as far as like a full solid album, she doesn't have that. It's the same with Chris Brown. Like I've said that before when everybody talks about, well, Chris Brown could take on Usher and da 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 da. I'm like, name one Chris Brown record that could go up against any of Usher's records. Like when you talk about timeless classics, like an album I can listen to between, from beginning, middle, and end. I can think of a lot of Usher albums. I can't think of one from Chris Brown. What was it? 8701. My Way, I can also listen to that record too. Then you have Confessions. Those are full records that I'm just like, those are timeless classics. So just because you got a lot of good songs does not mean that it's a record that you could put on and just be like, this is a great album, a great body of work. And then with Ray of Light, you can listen to that album beginning, middle, and end. Ray of Light had 2K votes and Circus petered out at 1.7. iPhones and TikTok pre-installed are selling for 100K. Oh, damn. He said, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are asking the courts to get Brian Freeman silenced and kicked off the case. He has been shocked. Brian is known for taking cases where victory is given. So you think that, Brian Freeman might have a chance of winning this. First of all, I've been saying that this doesn't look good on Blake Lively's part. And how you going to tell somebody, how you going to try to get an attorney kicked off a case when if it's a case, it's about whether your lawyer is doing enough to sway the courts to be on your side or vice versa. You trying to use your little Hollywood power to sway a situation. That's not how things work. If Justin has tea that vindicates him and you lose out, whose fault was that? Your lawyer didn't do enough, apparently, or people just didn't believe the bullshit you was putting out. Because I've been paying attention to the stuff that Justin Baldoni, I think the recent situation was he showed some footage or whatever that were trying to go against when she was saying that he was forcing himself on her and a bunch of other stuff. There was so much that was coming out about Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively in the past 24 hours. I tuned it out. I was just like, it's just too much going on with them right now. So I put them in the back burner while I was focusing on other topics. But we'll see if that actually goes through. But anyway, where we going? Oh, so let's get to our final movie topic. And let's talk about Keanu Reeves because, who knows when we're getting a John Wick 5? We already got 4 movies. If you're seeing John Wick 4, he's presumed dead, which, of course, everybody's like, no one ever stays dead, especially if a movie is making a shit ton of money for a studio. So he's presumed dead at this point. They kind of wrapped up his story, and who knows where they'll go with the next chapter. But Keanu Reeves is opening up and saying, like, you know what? While his heart is down for making a 5th movie, his knees are saying otherwise. And I feel you. I'm not even 60 yet, but I definitely understand like that knee pain. So according to Radar Online, so this is the part where we got to take it with a grain of salt because 3 weeks ago he did speak on that, how his heart and his knees are on different pages when it comes to do another John Wick movie. But the way that Radar Online is setting this all up is that like he's getting too old to pretty much play anti-hero assassin. So now, when asked about it in a recent interview, Reeves said, you can never say never. My knees right now are saying I can't do another John Wick. So my heart goes out. So my heart does, but I don't know if my knees can do it. Now, the generous celeb who is famously given over $75 million to cancer research because his sister passed away from cancer and lavish gifts to movie crews first hit the screen as Wick in 2014. I remember hearing that because I think he owns like a motorcycle company or something or another that he gave motorcycles to the crew, and he's also been very famously generous with his money in regards to like the staff behind the scenes. So that's what I've always loved about Keanu Reeves is that from everything I've heard about him, he's such a stand-up guy. And I always call him my Virgo twin because he and I share a birthday. He and I were both born on September 2nd. So that's why I always feature him as one of like my Virgo twin. So now you already know like the franchise has spawned 3 sequels and a TV miniseries, The Continental, which I thought was okay. And then this year in June, we're supposed to get Ballerina with Ana de Armas as an assassin. And Keanu Reeves does have a role in the film. From what I'm hearing, it's not a cameo that he does have a lot. He's in the movie a lot, but he's not in it a lot where he's overbearing Ana de Armas, where he's like trying to take over the movie where it's a John Wick movie of sorts. He is in the film. So I like the fact that they can find that balance because I'm not sure like how much he's in the movie, but I'm hoping that they will be able to find the balance of let's have Keanu Reeves in this film, but not too much, where he's gonna pretty much take the film away from Under the Armas. Because what you want to do at this point, especially when you're looking at a Keanu Reeves who is 60, that based on what they having him do in these films, especially with the action sequences and the judo and all the other stuff that he's doing up in there, flipping people over and always and a lot of the type of martial arts he does require a lot of wear and tear on his knees. And I've seen him in rehearsals and stuff where he's spending 3 months training, and he's even training in between takes because a lot of times when it comes up to the certain setups, what you have in mind with the choreography, it kind of changes within a moment. So they're like, you know what, based over this, now we've got new ideas. Let's see if we could do this, because it kind of like when you're in the moment, sometimes things aren't always going to go according to plan. So he's working out new choreography in between takes to up the ante in regards to the scene. So a lot of people don't realize how much work goes into making an action movie. And I totally get that he's a man of a certain age. Whereas Tom Cruise is older than him and he's out here still doing his stunts. But the difference is he's not doing the type of action Keanu Reeves is doing. Tom Cruise is hanging off of fucking airplanes or climbing buildings and stuff at 60 something years old. So that's a different kind of action versus the type of action that Keanu Reeves is doing, where he's doing gun fu, and he's doing all this extra stuff. So me being selfish and a John Wick fan, I definitely want another John Wick movie. I would love to see him come out in this, but I also get it, because when you're a certain age, all that wear and tear and all that pain, and people don't realize like how many hours goes into shooting a 5-minute fight sequence. A lot of time they're shooting this from multiple angles, multiple takes, and you could be a 5-minute fight scene behind the scenes when they're filming it. It could be like a good 6 to 8 hours that I'm doing that take. So that's a lot on your body. So I get it. But I also wonder how people like Donnie Yen and so many others who are men of a certain age, or Jackie Chan or whatever, men who are of a certain age, how do they still keep going? How do they still do it? But I feel like, would people be mad if they did like a digital thing on Keanu Reeves, where it's just like, you know what? Y'all pretty much take his face and put his face on some of the stunt doubles and have them do the complicated stuff. Like, if your body is on weird, you can do my close-ups, I'll do as much as I can. But any of the technical, really difficult fight sequences, I'm like, I don't mind a stunt double sticking and coming in to fill in with the action. If I need to be perceived to be moving a little faster, I don't think it'd be cheating, because people need to realize, like, yeah, he's a man of a certain age. You can't do all that stuff forever. So I wouldn't go too hard on him. And look, there was something I recently saw online. I think it was with AI, where they actually took Keanu Reeves' face and they digitally implanted it on Adam Scott's face. And it was literally a shot by shot situation of like Adam Scott from Severance. And they did something like that. So this is where we're going with technology. I don't want somebody to just completely take my face and put it on some AI and then just make it look like I'm doing everything when I'm not. But if it comes down to it, it's like, yeah, it's kind of like with Ryan Gosling and Fall Guy, where he had all those different stunt doubles that were doing different things and was like a love letter to stunt people. I wouldn't mind doing that if I'm a man of a certain age. It's like, yeah, I can't do it all forever, but just to give the fans a movie, if the script is good and the action is what it is, it's like, yeah, I don't mind having somebody come in and do what needs to be done with that. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story in regards of Keanu Reeves saying he's too old to play John Wick? I mean, I get it, because he is a man of a certain age, and I definitely want to see him do more. And it was like, yeah, a lot of that crazy stuff that was going, especially in John Wick Chapter 4, there was a lot of action in that film, and there was a lot of really cool sequences. And I'm like, yeah, he could do the gun stuff, but if it gets to a certain point where, like, yeah, I'm in my 60s and y'all still got me out here doing that judo, and I'm having to flip people over, and it's like, yeah, my back hurting and my knees hurt, and I can't do the things because I'm not in my 20s and 30s anymore. And even in your 40s, it's like you can still do the stuff in your 40s, but the pain, that's when it started to kick in when you get to be that age. So it's like in your 20s and 30s, you can recuperate a little easier. In your 40s, you're kind of like, oh, I need a day to like recover, but there ain't no time because, time is money, especially when you're on those movie sets. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so let's get some juicy stuff. So now let's get into this Chris Brown story because apparently he is now suing Warner Brothers Discovery for $500 million because he basically said that Chris Brown, A History of Violence docuseries was full of straight up lies. And there's been this resurgence of a lot of documentaries and stuff that was going on. They had one with and they have one with Nickelodeon, which isn't Dan Schneider, who was part of the whole Nickelodeon story. Didn't he file a lawsuit against these producers and stuff too for defamation? And then we had I almost said Nick Lachey, the Nick Carter one with his brother Aaron. They put one out, and then apparently I haven't heard any lawsuits with them, so that came and went. Maybe a lot of people didn't care, but now we hear that Chris Brown was coming out with one. I think they're about to do one with Diddy. That's coming out next week, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, Chris Brown is the latest one to file a lawsuit. And according to Variety, they said he's suing them for $500 million over SA allegations posed in its investigation discovery docuseries Chris Brown, A History of Violence. Now, in the lawsuit obtained by Variety, Brown accuses the producers behind the docuseries, which includes Warner Brothers and Ample, of libel and intentional infliction of emotional distress through defamatory claims made against him in A History of Violence. He also alleges that the evidence provided to substantiate, I was almost stumbled on that word, their claims is completely false. So they said, end quote, to put it simply, the case is about the media putting their own profits over the truth, the lawsuit reads. Since the beginning of October of 2024, Ample LLC and Warner Brothers were put on notice that they were promoting and publishing false information in their pursuit of likes, clicks, downloads, and dollars, and to the detriment of Chris Brown. Ultimately, on October 27, 2024, they aired Chris Brown, A History of Violence, the documentary, knowing that it was full of lies and deception and violating basic journalist principles. Like, what the hell you know about journalist principles? They over here with the whole situation. Now, Warner Brothers, I should say, did not respond to any request for comment. So Variety reached out to them. Warner Brothers has not responded. Now, they said the suit goes on to allege that the claims of Jane Doe used as evidence against Brown in the doc had been discredited over and over again, and that she was a perpetrator of intimate partner violence and an aggressor herself. The suit acknowledges that the Grammy winner has made mistakes in the past, which has been publicly acknowledged and addressed by him in his 2017 documentary, Chris Brown, Welcome to My Life, but has since grown from those experiences and his evolution speaks for itself. Well, I do agree that in so many ways, maybe in 2017, he had grown from his experiences and his evolution has spoke for itself. However, did we forget about the time when he recently just got into a situation where he was fighting four dudes or whatever the case was, or four dudes accused him of assault and backstage at his recent concert that he just had. So there's little things that's still been coming up, and I didn't see his documentary, so I don't know what he set up in there and all that other stuff. But lately, yeah, Chris Brown has been getting in trouble. Chris Brown has been trolling. Chris Brown has been accused of assault and all this other stuff, and he'll have to handle that when he gets in the court of law. Now, in this situation, I would think that if Warner Brothers Discovery is going to go out here and allow and greenlight something about him on their channel, that they would dot all their I's and cross all their T's and they'll just be up in here being like, well, all of this is factual. But if Chris Brown is up in here saying it's a lie and he's able to have enough evidence to corroborate that these people were being biased and he can take them to court and win, I don't think he'll get $500 million. But if he can prove whatever he needs to prove, then we'll see. So there's not really a whole lot I can say on that at this point. It's just that I need more evidence in regards to the situation. It's still early. We're just now finding out about it. And yeah, so I will definitely keep you guys abreast of the story as it develops. But what do you guys think? Do you people believe? I don't need the hardcore breezies up in here who just believe everything, team breezy regardless. But anybody who's a critical thinker, did you see the docuseries? Was it a docuseries or was it a documentary? I don't remember. Like I said, I didn't get around to watching it. A lot of times it takes a lot for me to sit down and watch these abuse allegation type stuff. So Did you see the docuseries? What did you think? Did you believe like maybe there was some stuff in there that was some lies or whatever the case? What whatever the case. So whatever. Let me know in the comments down below. They're trying to wrap that up. Now speaking of SA, let's get into the date love. Because apparently another day, another damn Diddy documentary. So how many is that so far? Because we had the one that just came out from Peacock. I already gave you my full review of that. I just thought that it was rushed. And I felt like overall there was not enough that I had heard there was not enough that was in that documentary that I saw that I hadn't already heard, especially the stuff about Biggie and Tupac and the bands and all the other stuff. I would love to have heard from some of the members of Danny Kaye, but I already know, like, I believe the new one that's supposed to be coming out on speaking of HBO, we just did a story on them about getting a lawsuit from Chris Brown. D Woods is supposed to be doing an interview with them on that docuseries that I believe comes out next week. So we had the one that was on Hulu. There was one on, the Hulu did one, Peacock did one, HBO Max about to come out with one, and we're still waiting on the one from 50 Cent over at Netflix, and I think this one makes 5. So I'm like, okay. Everybody's trying to jump on the bandwagon. And I don't know if I want to sit and try to just watch every damn Diddy situation. Even I think they did one over on Tubi with TMZ, I think did one. So according to the Daily Mail, I think the Brits are about to do one too. So they said the music mogul is currently, as y'all know, behind bars at the Metro Detention Center in New York, awaiting trial. And Channel 4 is said to have joined forces with Lion TV to commission a new in-depth show called Diddy in Plain Sight, exploring the alleged crimes. Now, a source told The Sun, as the clock ticks towards Diddy's trial, it gives us an opportunity for those yet to have their voices heard in this case to speak up and give their testimony. This in-depth program will dive into all the charges, the highs and lows of Diddy's success, and what went on behind the scenes at his infamous white parties. It will no doubt produce a very shocking revelations. Now, the new program is expected to air later this year. So, and Radar Online have contacted Channel 4, but I don't think they've heard anything. Now, they said the news follows an announcement by Netflix that they too are making a documentary about the shamed hitmaker called Diddy Do It. As a D-I-D-D-Y, do it, ? Now, while other shows about the rapper include HBO's The Fall of Diddy, Peacock's The Making of a Bad Boy, and TMZ's, see, I told you it was a bunch of them, TMZ's The Downfall of Diddy. Diddy has remained incarcerated, awaiting a May 5th trial after bail was rejected following bail hearings before 3 different judges. Diddy was arrested in September 16 and indicted in racketeering and trafficking charges, blah, blah, blah. We already know all the charges. But, so I wonder, they're going to talk about the baby oil, they're going to talk about Cassie, like all the things we already heard already. And then even Daily Mail has a podcast called The Trial of Diddy, where a former federal prosecutor, David Gelman, said the rapper's legal team could use the tapes to undermine Cassie's credibility or possibly get a better plea deal for himself. Saying, let's just say that Cassie participating in things and looks like she's having a really good time, that obviously won't look good for her and her claims of what he did. Well, they could also, if they're smart, use the angle of, well, you are in a position of power. You are someone who has a lot of money and a lot of influence. And with her being in a relationship and you having the reputation that a lot of people have known you to have when you've been a bulldozer and a bully, and you can make people easily disappear, especially with you being a man of a certain age, getting with a girl who was relatively young, that could be the angle that they use against him. So y'all sort of be, oh, it looks like she's having a great time. Have you never seen people who have been trafficked, who are under the influence of drugs, who are out of it, or who disappear within themselves while men break them in? And that's what they usually do with prostitutes, where it's just like you have men run a train on a girl to break her mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and until she's broken in, and then you start working her around the track where you start making them pimps that money. And Diddy, with his mentality of being a freak and the abuse that he endured, because we already heard from that previous documentary I saw where him and his childhood friend, they was living up in this house that his mother, Janice, bought, and she was having freak off parties at the house on the weekends, and how he was introduced to sex at a young age, where I don't think he even learned about boundaries or this is certain things you don't do when you're in a situation like that when it comes to people having relations and you're too young to understand what all that is. So them trying to do the angle of, oh, well, the freak off, it looked like she having a good time. Have y'all not seen the episode of Law and Order SVU? Like, we've seen this show before on how they try to use that angle. And how does that turn out? Usually the person that tries to pull that angle ends up going to prison. So Diddy ain't getting out. I truly believe his ass ain't getting out. He is done. The way that he treated people for 3 decades in the music business and all the shenanigans that he was doing and how he's ruined a lot of people's lives. And thought that because he owned that, his 3, money, power, and respect, he even did a song on it. What that got him? In jail. Because he was bullied as a kid. And once he got money and power, he had to bully people for the respect. So, I'm guessing because it's Channel 4, that means it's going to be over in the UK. I'm still waiting for them to give us the Madonna thing that's over there in the UK. They still haven't released that. I would love to see that documentary, which I heard is actually really good, where it goes into early aspect of her career, but we haven't gotten that. So I don't even know if we actually get to see this Diddy thing over here. But then again, I feel like we've been so bombarded with a lot of, well, I guess maybe because I'm paying attention to a lot of it. There's been so much of that Diddy stuff that's in the zeitgeist right now. All these documentaries and these series that everybody trying to capitalize. It's like, I don't want to have to sit and watch every one and then be like, okay, did I learn something from this one? Did I learn something from that one? So I don't know if, even if they dropped it over here in the US or bootlegged it on YouTube, I don't even know if I want to watch it at this point, because I just feel like I'm bombarded with all this stuff. And he's still in jail. He hasn't even gone to trial yet. And it's basically become like more or less the court of public opinion versus the court actually charging him with anything. So I saw this and say, what do y'all think of this story regarding now Channel 4 over in the UK is set to come out with a documentary probing, taking a deep dive in Diddy's infamous white parties and the freak offs and all that other stuff. So whatever your thoughts are on that, let me know in the comments down below. All right, now, so let's move on, excuse me, to our next topic. And let's talk about Nelly, who continues to stick his damn foot in his mouth. Excuse me. In regards to, this whole situation about him performing at Donald Trump's inauguration ball, because, he continues to stick his foot in his mouth. And in this part, he had the nerve to drag Beyonce into his mess. Now, after sounding like Boo Boo the Fool during his recent chat with Ghetto Boys' Willie D over why he chose to perform for Donald Trump at his inauguration ball, Nelly is continuing to double down on his decision after fierce public backlash. Now, the Ride With Me rapper took his grift over to News Nation and continued to stick his foot further down his throat as to why he chose to tap dance for one of the biggest chaos demons in American political history. Here's what he told Chris Cuomo. I'm going to say Chris Brown. So he said, it's more about respect for the office. It's not about a campaign. And it's not anything that I feel I'm influencing people to sway either way on how they feel. But it's more about the respect and the honor of being invited for what I like to call the greatest country on the planet. This is what the 3-time Grammy winner relayed. Now, after calling for Americans to put aside their differences and come together, which members of the MAGA cult never do, by the way, Nelly had the absolute nerve to compare the backlash he's currently receiving to a past collaboration with country superstar Tim McGraw, and even drag Beyonce into his mess by trying to equate performing for Trump to the backlash she received for dipping her well-manicured toes into the country genre with the latest chart-topping album, Cowboy Carter. Now, here's the thing. Before we even get to that, what drama was there with Tim McGraw? Because I'm like, Tim McGraw is like unproblematic. Isn't he also married to Faith Hill? I'm like, I don't remember anything being problematic about it, but maybe what it was the fact that hip hop and country cross-pollinating, people didn't like that at the time. But I don't see where in this whole situation, are you even in the same boat as a Beyonce? So he said the following. He said, I remember in 2004 when I first did a song with my big brother, Tim McGraw, I got heat from my hip hop community and even 2 different radio stations. Now you look at people like Shabuzi and even Beyonce with Cowboy Carter. It's almost, it's about being ahead of the curve. It's about understanding what's right and what's wrong. If what's wrong is really wrong, then the fact will tell us that. I don't need anyone inflating the facts. I'm so confused by that. Like, what are you, what? What are you on, sir? Because every time I turn around, the more he talks, the dumber he sounds. And to me, I just like, what the fuck does black people doing country music have to do with you performing for an oligarch, robber baron, billionaire who only cares about causing a bigger divide amongst American people while he and his rich cronies continue to invade the treasury? Like, I don't understand what this got to do with anything. What's this got to do with it? Because I'm like, you know what? I just wish for the love of Christ, he would just be honest about why he chose to perform for Trump and stand firm on that. Stand on business is what I want to say in regards to that. You keep saying you didn't do it for the money. You keep saying you did it for the country. You don't want the people to be divided. We're already divided. Where the hell have you been? But I guess when you're rich and you don't have to deal with all the things us regular people have to deal with, then you're completely out of touch with what is really going on in the world, which seems like a lot of you rich people are. Y'all are just so out of touch with what's going on right now. Y'all don't understand what, the regular people are dealing with. And you know what? Quiet as it's kept, I feel like Nelly name has not been in our mouths since MTV stopped popping. So, in so many ways, I feel like you doing this whole thing, you knew it would keep your name in the papers. People will be talking about you. You'll be trending on social media and all that other stuff. He also said this. He said that he hopes that those who supported him over the years continue to do so, especially as he preps for a new Peacock reality series, a 6-date residency, and a world tour. So apparently he's important somewhere where he's traveling around the world. I don't think it'd be like an arena tour or whatever, but maybe it's just he's doing festivals, whatever the case is. And if he's got supporters, okay, that's great. And we'll see that residency that you got coming out in Vegas, if those maggots that you out here performing for will be out there watching you shuck and jive across that damn stage singing Ride With Me and Country Grammar. We'll see. But the only person I feel bad for in this situation will be Ashanti, because her being married to you, basically, she's catching a stray. And it's funny how you can go on the Ghetto Boys thing where they're not going to question what you're doing. And you can go on Chris Cuomo, who just is just so happy to have a job at this damn point. Because no, when they fired his ass, what was he on? CNN, MSNBC? Boy, they both two sides of the same bullshit ass coin. So, where they won't be able to, where they can't pick a side politically on what they stand on, at least when it comes to Fox News, we know where they stand on shit. I don't trust MSNBC and CNN, all these other idiots as far as I can throw them. But so yeah, he's gonna go over there to News Nation, which is pretty much Fox News light in regards of how they think. They try to act like they're independent, but I call BS on that. I don't get independent from them. But I don't understand how you compare yourself. Like the whole thing with Tim. First of all, I don't even remember back in 2000 and what year he said 2004. That was like 20 years ago. I don't recall that whole, because I'm not, like I've said before, I'm not really big into country music, so I can give two shits in the flying fuck who you collaborate with. Now it's just a normal thing that black people are dabbling in country music and that sort of thing, even though we already know the history of country, and they always try to erase black people's participation in things whenever it comes to culture. They want to colonize the culture and then erase the history like we weren't a part of shit. Like, I get all of that, but what you dealing with in this backlash has nothing to do with what Beyonce is dealing with Cowboy Carter. The Cowboy Carter stuff is rooted in racism, where white people are mad. Oh, this ain't country, but it's okay for people like Post Malone and people like Jelly Roll and all these other people to dabble and cross-pollinate sounds, and y'all accept that. But the minute black people come in and they mix genres and all this other stuff, it's a problem. Oh, that ain't country music. Oh, now y'all want to come out with the damn litmus test in regards of what is country and what isn't. Like y'all invented this shit. If y'all like y'all pure little country stuff, then so be it. But music is music. Music matches, music changes, music evolves. People, cross-pollinate sounds and all that other stuff. So genres aren't just one little thing. So yeah, I'm just so confused by the stuff he said, and I just realized at this point, in the words of Whoopi Goldberg, where she told that to Nutmeg McCain back when they was on The View together, just please stop talking, because every time you talk, you sound stupid. Like it doesn't make any sense. And when you ever hear talking about that, it was about respect for the office. So you performing for people who don't even have respect for our government, who is literally taking and destroying every little situation that we have, so that way because he's beholden to the robber barons and the corporate billionaires. So that's what you talking about, like with what office? Because there ain't gonna be an office left by the time he's done with it. And you can't say that something is not about a campaign. When you perform for a certain politician, when you do things for certain people that has to do with politics, it is about the campaign. You have taken a political stand. You are showing people what side you stand on. And it's the same thing if people were performing for Kamala Harris. So I'm not just going to go in on Trump. Like if people were sitting out here performing for Kamala Harris and she were the president today, it'd be the same thing. If those artists were performing for them, that means that you believe in what they're doing and what they're about politically. You can't just go up in there, take these people money, perform for them, and then expect people to just not have a comment about it. Especially when we know what Trump stands for. So this is not like some regular political situation. So I'm so sick of celebrities jumping on shit, getting stuff and putting themselves in situations, and they don't want to own up to the reason why they do the decisions they make. I just wish him and so many others who sit around here tap dancing like the jigaboos they are would just own the decisions that they make. And it's funny how he said at the end that he hopes that people will continue to ride with him after all of this, especially because I have a reality show. So you busy worried about your money being affected. You know exactly what's going on and what you're doing. And so far, it looks like your money is going to be affected, especially when we did the story yesterday on him and when he was still doubling down and still going on this, this bullshit excuse tour. That's what I guess I'll call it. And saying like, what was it, that the fan club that Ashanti has shut down because they were so pissed off with the decision he made that unfortunately she had to catch a stray on account of his decision. So I do feel like your money is going to be affected, but we'll see. Oh Lord, I'm nervous so whatever your thoughts are on that. So I asked all y'all to say, what do you guys think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Okay. Oh Lord. Hold on. Because I have a feeling what's about to happen. Something popped up and said my secure web search is off. The minute I close this done, it's going to cut me off. So bear with me. I'm going to close this and I'll be right back. Didn't I tell you? And it's funny, like the minute that happened, it went and turned my thing back to the way I had it before. I don't know, y'all be blowing my mind with this stuff. That's why I was like, let me finish this damn topic because I knew it was going to happen. The minute I closed that secure situation, that it was going to close me out and then it was going to restore everything. So that's why I was like, let me wait till the end of that segment. But we back. Okay, so now let me see what everybody is saying in the comments. Lanier's in the building. How you doing? You said there are so many Diddy docs on streaming alone. Unless this new one has something new to say, they need to STFU and get a new time. Exactly. And that's how I'm at this point. is that y'all bombarding us with so many Diddy things, and in a way I'm becoming desensitized, but at the same time it reeks of y'all trying to capitalize on this situation that's going on. And right now I don't care enough to be up in here trying to watch every little Diddy documentary that you're going to come out with. So I'm gonna just wait, read the reviews, and I'll even check out, I'm gonna even wait regarding the one that's supposed to be coming out with HBO. I'll see what the reviews are saying on that, if it's worth watching, and the one with 50 Cent that he's still working on. Lanier says, I always say the follower of a fool is a bigger fool than their and Nelly is showing himself to be an even bigger fool than Trump himself. And it's disgusting that I can even say that. Yeah, and funny enough, look, I don't feel no way tired about some damn Nelly. I ain't never cared for his ass any damn way. He always felt like a little tap dancing coon to me. But I never paid attention to it because I was never really a big fan. But I guess because he's married to Ashanti and all this other stuff that's coming out, this is a hot button topic. Now I've kind of been paying close attention to it. But it is what it is, I guess. Okay. Wait, hold on. I was like, where my banners at? Where my banners at? Where my banners at? Okay, so we actually have 4 more topics left to go on today's episode. So before we get to those final 4 topics, if you can do me a solid, and please, if you have not already, hit that like button and that subscribe button, also smash that bell, so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. It helps with the algorithms and all that good stuff. So please and thank you. With you guys who have been continuously supporting this show. All right, so now without further ado, let's talk about Madonna, who is rumored to have found the director for her biopic. So now, yesterday, the Queen of Pop started causing a commotion on social media because she had posted some photos, like a carousel of photos on her Instagram. One of the photos that she ended up taking, well, it was a couple of photos that she ended up with, where she was showing off the boo thing. You know, was piping her down, chair. I know some people like, ugh, but guess what? At least she getting some dick, unlike some of y'all. The younger the better, chair, as long as they of age. But so yeah, she was seen taking photos with Baz Luhrmann, and oh wait, hold on, because I just realized like a lot of my stuff is closing out. But anyway, okay, so now we're back. So she took a recent picture with Baz Luhrmann and sparked rumors that could it be that she has found the director of her long-delayed biopic? So the 66-year-old Grammy-winning Rebel Heart singer has been dining at French restaurant Monsieur Bistro in New York City with a very prominent director. I was like, who is calling me? Like, y'all messing me up right now, Chad. What time is it? Y'all messing me up. Anyway, okay, let's start that over because it's like the distractions is killing me right now. So the 66-year-old Grammy-winning Rebel Heart singer was seen dining at a French restaurant, Monsieur Bistro in New York City, with a very prominent director. He was Australian filmmaker Baz Luhrmann, who is best known for his highly entertaining musical dramas Romeo and Juliet, Moulin Rouge, Gatsby, and most recently Elvis, which starred Austin Butler. And it received a Best Picture Oscar nomination in 2023. So I could definitely see why she would be looking at Baz Luhrmann, because he has an amazing track record. Romeo and Juliet, love that movie. And also the soundtrack. I was here for the soundtrack back in the day, especially the the song "I Will Die for You," I think is the name of it, that was done by Garbage. That's what really turned me on to the Romeo and Juliet soundtrack. And then, of course, Moulin Rouge is a good movie, how they would use a lot of pop culture songs of the moment to kind of tell the story between the characters, which was who? It was Nicole Kidman and Ewan McGregor. And then you had the Gatsby movie. I think, was that the one with Leonardo DiCaprio? Because I never got around to seeing that one. Was he in that? I think he was. But so, you know, he's done a lot of great musical type of films. So I could definitely see like his style and everything would definitely work in a Madonna biopic. So, and you know, Austin Butler, I believe, was nominated for an Oscar for playing Elvis. And I'm not a really big Elvis fan, but I thought Austin Butler did a phenomenal job playing the character, though. Now, the pairing of Madonna and Baz over an intimate dinner sparked rumors that the two could be working together on a new project. Madonna seems ripe for a movie about her life, and Baz would be the perfect man to steer the massive project. The performer has also been trying for years to get her own bio movie with actress Julia Garner off the ground. So, they also said Madonna gave no indication she was meeting with Luhrmann about a movie. So we should point that out, by the way. Now, rather, the diva from Michigan said she was in a bad mood, so she went to Monsieur on Lexington on the Upper East Side. Said, "When you're feeling down, go to Monsieur," she wrote in the caption for as Addison Rae hit the like button. Well, Addison, girl, you're not playing Madonna. She already got Julia Garner. So it is a fresh take on Parisian cafe culture, offering classic French dishes with Mediterranean influence, all focused on health-conscious ingredients. Now, Madonna wore her blonde hair down and had on a black leather coat over a black top with a pair of trousers that were cut to expose a purple skirt. The Dick Tracy movie star posed for some very arty photographs. In one image, Baz leaned in closely and touched her face as he appeared to be good pals with the Material Girl. Material Girl. See, and I have to say, these pictures that they have, she looks good. So yeah, there's the picture there. Baz, I'm living for the white hair. At one point, I was like, "Who is this?" The white man that was with her on the left hand side. I'm like, "Yeah, I thought Karl Lagerfeld died when I saw him with her." But then, come to find out, it was Baz Luhrmann, and I was like, that immediately got the wheels turning in my head in regards of whether or not they would be working on a film together. So, for those of you who are not familiar with what's been going on in regards of the Madonna biopic, she started out developing the script with Diablo Cody, and then the script was initially titled Little Sparrow, but then they stopped working together. She decided to turn her attention to the Celebration tour. And then, she was in the hospital and we almost lost her. And then once she was well enough, I guess, to get back up on her feet, she started back up on the Celebration tour. Now the Celebration tour is done. She started back at work on the script and then brought in Erin Cressida Wilson. And then said that according to reports, she has cast Julia Garner from Ozark and most recently Wolfman fame as the Queen of Pop. And then we were hearing stories about Madonna wanting to direct a movie herself, which a lot of us hardcore Madonna fans like, we love you, sis. However, we want you directing your own biopic. I can understand if you want to come on as an executive producer. You can find ways, of course, that you will license the music because it is your music, and we definitely want to hear your music in the film. We don't want a Leah Lifetime of the Movie of the Week biopic tease when it comes to your film. So we're glad that you have, your library that you can lend out for certain situations. I love that you want to be heavily involved. Hopefully in the ranks of, like, according to John Chu, who said that Britney Spears is going to be heavily involved with her biopic. So I love that you're going to be heavily involved in that way. However, you getting behind the camera and directing and stuff, I believe that's going to be too much. That's going to take away 2 years of your life dealing with that. Right now, she's already told us that she's working on new music. I don't know if she's still working on new music, but we're getting a new album from Madonna. It's supposed to come out this year. Who knows when? So focus on that, releasing the music, the singles. I mean, then again, it could be like maybe she's got Baz Luhrmann coming in and direct her music video. But then again, I feel like, no, I would rather he work on a biopic. Now, I know there's also been rumors that some people feel like with Madonna and him possibly working together, that they don't know if it's a good idea, if it should just be a 2.5-hour biopic, rather they want a TV series or a series on Netflix with like 8 to 10 episodes or something or another. And while I think that's great, and while I am a Madonna fan, I'm all for, all the minute details of their relationship, of her life being spread out into 8 to 10 episodes, I think Madonna wants an Oscar. Now that I was thinking about it, and I was having conversations with Madonna fans yesterday in regards to this, it's like, I think she wants the Oscar. She got slighted with with Masterpiece, where it wasn't eligible even though it's a great song and it definitely deserved to get an Oscar for Best Original Song or whatever the case was. But stuff happened with that and it didn't happen. And then, of course, she never got the Oscar nomination for Evita. She won the Golden Globe, but never got the Oscar, which pissed off. Still really think about that. She pissed off Elton John. So with this opportunity, it's like, yeah, and of course, with all the biopics and stuff coming out, some very nasty, some I'm looking forward to. Well, we have the Robbie Williams biopic that just came out, which seems interesting, and I definitely want to see that. We have the Michael Jackson biopic coming out later on this year, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. And if Madonna gets a biopic, yeah, we can do like 2.5 hours, and it just focuses on all the turning points in her career and us getting to really know her ambition and how she is and all this stuff. Like, that's what I want to see. And I feel like, yeah, if they focus too much on every aspect of her life, and we've seen things where people have delved deep into who she is as an artist, that might be a little too boring for the average consumer. So the hardcore fans, like, we'll take anything. We're here for it. But I feel like the average film watcher, the average consumer, they're going to be like, I don't care about all this extra stuff. Because we're fans and we're greedy. We care about all the little minute details. So I totally get it. And so with saying all of this stuff, I'm hoping this is true. If she can actually grab Baz Luhrmann on this film, and she can actually get him, and they can both put together a presentation and make it work, then I feel like I'm here for it. And she seems to be living her best life and having a good time right now. So, shout out to Madonna. I'm here for it. And I hope that this turns out to be true. But you know what? Madonna loves any way that she can get a little attention. She's going to take it. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Do you think that her bumping, I should say, into Baz Luhrmann in New York City at a restaurant and posting all the pictures on her IG, that there could be something developing between them, that the possibility, because he is somebody who is really big on directing musicals, that they could be working on collaborating on her off-delayed biopic, and for her to actually get Baz Luhrmann, because we've been talking about the stories on here how they didn't want to give her $100 million to direct her film, and they don't trust her based on her track record as an actress and a filmmaker, because she has made 2 movies and financially they've been flops. So with that being said, yeah, it's like, while you have the music industry on lock, you don't have the film industry on lock, and Hollywood doesn't trust you to give you that kind of money to get a biopic made. So you're gonna need like a secret weapon, and I feel like that secret weapon is Baz Luhrmann, because he has Oscar nominations under his belt. He has created films that have made a shit ton of money at the box office. Romeo and Juliet was a huge hit. Elvis was a huge hit. Gatsby was a hit. So you need hit makers to be on your side in the film world, whereas we already know you got it on lock with the music. But in regards to the films, sis, that's just not your wheelhouse. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay. Robert says Amazon is letting Black protections and LGBTQ. He is such a clown. Jeff Bezos and that, Joker-looking girlfriend of his. They say he was promised 0% tax rate if he fires people that aren't white. Okay, well, good luck that all them saltines is gonna do them damn jobs. Guess who's leaving Prime Video, Amazon Music, and Amazon the site? Well, if they start losing money, all because you want a damn tax break, then it is what it is. Onyx says, I fear the biopic is getting delayed again. Yeah, well, we'll see. Because we haven't heard anything regards of like what's going on with the biopic. Like, she alluded to some stuff a couple of months ago on her Instagram, but we don't even know if Universal is still giving it a go. But I'm like, yeah, if she could bring Baz Luhrmann and say, look, I secured a director, and the script is done, and now she and Baz decide to put together a presentation to go forth. Universal be like, okay, so now we got everything locked down, and we need this amount of money for this film, because I can't see them doing a Madonna biopic for a small budget, on a small budget. Like, it's not an independent film. From a 4-hour film, trim it for theater release, the uncut version. Yeah, well, look. What's that damn movie that's out right now with Adrian Brody? They said that movie's damn near 4 hours. So look, if y'all could put that in the damn movies, then it'd be long. And the new Avatar movie is about to be 3 hours, because I just heard about that, Fire and Ice. They said that film's about to be a 3-hour film. That was confirmed by James Cameron, or as I like to say, Jimmy C. If y'all could release films of that length, then y'all could do a 4-hour, film. But it's like, yeah, we could do a shorter version for theaters, a 2.5 hour. But if they do an unrated director's cut, where it's like a 4-hour long one that you release specifically on a box set or whatever the case is, I'd be here for that. And the hardcore Madonna fans, I think, will go for it as well. It said W.E. did get critical praise, though, and yeah, Masterpiece deserved an Oscar. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I like to call W.E. whatever. She should do a new song for and I'm sure she will. I mean, it would only make sense. And I feel like, Britney, you should do the same damn thing. Like, you need to release an original song, but you do your biopic. And I wonder if they're going to do that with Michael Jackson, though. Like, will they dig in the archive and find some old song that was, like, in the archives that he never released, and put that on the album? I would prefer a re-release of a song used in the biopic, and hope it gets momentum. Well, yeah, we'll see. Hold on, because well, look, I have to go on that later, because I'm like, somebody was calling me earlier. My friend got a new number for his phone and texted me. They erased the old number. I'm like, okay, but I ain't doing that now, child. I'm live. Y'all getting all the mess. I saw she wants to call it "Who's That Girl," so there might be a remix. ¿Quién es esta niña? I was like, yeah. I mean, yeah, I did hear that it was called "Who's That Girl." I think she revealed that. It was like I think it was like people being nosy. It said "Who's That Girl" the thing, and they zoomed in on something that I think it was on the paper or whatever the case was that she was typing on. So it was like, yeah. So that's always kind of been the rumor, but it kind of does fit, because it's like, it sort of kind of gives like that, yeah, y'all think y'all know who I am, but y'all don't have any idea of who I am as an artist. So calling somebody "Who's That Girl" is like, yeah, who are you really? It's kind of like Atreyo when he was talking to the wolf who was actually the nothing. He was like, who are you really? What's his name? Morlock? Never Ending Story is one of my favorite movies growing up as a kid. Turn around. Look at what you see. Lee Mall, who produced, didn't Stock Aitken Waterman produce that song? It's like we reverting back to Stock Aitken Waterman again, because we was talking about them earlier. No, that was Giorgio Moroder. What am I talking about? Now I just thought about it. But anyway. Okay, let's get into this, man. Speaking of Britney, because we was talking about her earlier. And let's get into this story. So, after being burned by Britney Spears in her brutal memoir, and not with an STI, just by some of the tea that she spilled in her memoir, they said Justin Timberlake is said to want nothing to do with his pop star ex-girlfriend and what he's calling her bizarre behavior. Well, the troops want to know if this is true. So look, So, in her best-selling memoir, The Woman in Me, Spears, who's 43, didn't hold back when it came to revealing secrets of her relationship with Timberlake, 43, and he's about to be 44 on, I think, next Thursday, because I think his birthday is the 30th of January, who she dated from 1999 to 2002. Now, Spears has raised eyebrows with her scantily clad social media posts and strange ramblings. She recently sparked mental health concerns when she posted a concerning story about her accidentally burning her eyebrows off, all while speaking in a British accent. While Spears' social media activity has long kept people talking and speculating about her well-being, insiders claim there's one person who's keeping their mouth shut, and that would be Timberlake. So an insider said, it's pretty clear Britney is back in a very dark place, but when people try to bring it up to Justin, he just changes the topic. In her 2023 tell-all, Spears dished on Timberlake alleged, infidelity in an abortion drama, which sparked backlash against the Crimea River singer. The source added the abuse Justin got from everyone left a very bad taste in his mouth. He sure as heck doesn't want to get pulled into the narrative again. Now, Timberlake has since weathered an embarrassing DUI incident and turbulence in his marriage to actress Jessica Biel, 42, which I have said for the longest, she ain't going no damn where. That man could sit up there and clap her broad cheeks literally in front of her, and she will stand by her damn man regardless of what he does. That's why I feel about Jessica Biel. She has no damn backbone. So she'll continue to stand by that fool. Now, they said during an NYC concert in early 2024, a fed-up Timberlake seemingly took a dig at his ex-girlfriend when he told the crowd he wanted to take this opportunity to apologize to absolutely effing nobody. The comment sparked another salvo from the toxic singer and her fans. The insider said it got so nasty that Jessica had to turn her comments off on Instagram, so Justin's decided to no longer comment on anything related to Britney. Meanwhile, Spears has continued to stir up controversy after she finalized her divorce from ex-husband Sam Asghari and became romantically linked to felon Paul Solis. First of all, if this story came out today over there on Radar Online, why does this feel like old stuff that y'all decided to stitch together to turn into an actual story? I'm calling BS on this. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure that Justin Timberlake is a dick. Well, we already pretty much established that, especially when it comes to Britney and how he's treated her, how he's treated Janet, how he treated a lot of people, where he's climbed over people to get to the top and stay there. I do feel like he has dickish ways in that context of he doesn't want to be upstaged by stronger women, which over the years he has. Cameron Diaz, who was a bigger movie star than him, who has recently made a comeback into making movies again. Then you had Britney, who was the bigger pop star, solo pop star, because she never had to be a part of a group to become the big mega star that she was at the time. And in so many ways, it was like and it felt like to me that, looking back on it, that he probably used her as, because it was a good look for them, especially when there were young kids coming up. And maybe they had a little thing and there was something there at the time, but I do feel like that it was, for him, it was good for business. Brittany don't care about all these bells and whistles and the pomp and circumstance. She's a good old Southern girl from Louisiana. So she don't get caught up in the bullshit. I feel like Justin Timberlake will sell his mother if he could for the money, success, fame, and glamour. He always gave that energy. And looking back on it, I didn't pay attention to it back in the day because I was too young to try to wrap my head around it and understand it. But I do feel like now that would be the case, looking back on, stuff back in the day. So when it comes down to this stuff, I could definitely feel like now, in this day and age, when we're talking about this story, why would he feel a thing of wanting nothing to do with his pop star ex-girlfriend and her bizarre behavior now? Britney really hasn't been in the news like that, where she's been doing something crazy for him to have this kind of energy. I can understand if The Woman in Me movie was about to come out this week and this story started to make the rounds, and then he would be feeling away. So it just doesn't make sense mentally why all of a sudden, what is it that Britney has to do for him to kind of feel this way? Or I could feel like if this was even, if the Super Bowl was coming up this week, because remember, every time the Super Bowl comes up, it's always justice for Janet, be hashtagging on Twitter. So I could understand if it was falling within that context, but I don't feel that right now with this. So I just feel like Radar Online, it's a slow news day for y'all. And y'all just trying to create drama where there isn't any. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story regarding they're saying that Justin Timberlake is trying to run away from Britney after she blabbed about graphic details? Because I'm like, why would he be feeling about this now? The book's been out for a while now. So why would he be feeling any kind of way about the book? We ain't even talking about The Woman in Me. We not thinking about that book at the moment. So I don't know why he'd be feeling the way he feels. So whatever your thoughts are on this story, let me know in the comments down below. Onyx says, do you think JT will pull a Drake, Karen, and sue for being portrayed poorly in the biopic? You want to know something? I would not be surprised if he decides to pull that stunt where he'll pull like a Chris Brown or he'll pull, all this other stuff. Because it's like, oh, you're defaming me. This didn't happen. But it's like, you're literally trying to say that what Britney's recollection of what happened in our relationship is a bunch of bullshit, that she's making this up. Why would what does she have to gain from making up lies about you? You kind of have like this. Well, at the end of the day, he has his fans who will continue to support and look the other way. But he kind of comes across like a dick. So I don't feel like, and I feel like, you know what, when you make these accusations or whatever the case was, if you file a suit, it's only going to make you look worse. So I can definitely see him doing this because he's a dingbat like Drake. He's an idiot, that's got a lot of money. But I just feel like, you know what? When this biopic finally gets made and it comes out, just close the blinds, put on your baseball cap, put your head down, mind your business, and keep moving. So, Robert says Blue Sky has officially banned links from X and Meta social media over content. Well, guess what? I'm happy to hear that somebody got some goddamn sense on one of these apps, that they haven't bent the knee to Trump, because it seemed like everybody else is doing it. TikTok is about to do it. Because they talking about Elon, he literally said in an interview, a press conference, where he got no pushback from the press, and that's going to be the press for the next 4 years. So buckle up. We're just going to have to trust in our social media conglomerates who are not afraid to go up against the establishment to provide us with the news. Because if you think that the mainstream media is going to feed us news and give us the real tea, y'all about to be radicalized and brainwashed, because they ain't going to do shit. They're going to sit up in here and just look the other way while Trump sits up in here and feeds y'all a bunch of BS and lies. So I'm glad that Blue Sky has decided to jump on the bandwagon. And even Kyle Kalinske was like, he said, it's only a matter of time before I get banned from TikTok. I mean, not TikTok, from Twitter. So he created Blue Sky, because then he can give you all the information over there. Because, yeah, Twitter is going to, and what I love about Blue Sky is like, yeah, we're the anti-Twitter. We're not going to allow the radicalism over there to come over here and change the narrative and try to hijack what we got going on over here. So yeah, let them go over there and try to buy up all the information. Maybe Blue Sky will have to, I'm just hoping that Blue Sky gets to a place where, if TikTok is gonna disappear, that Blue Sky becomes the next thing where they allow long form videos, where people can go over there and put the information out there in video form the way TikTok does. Because I feel like that's where we're going to have to go next. Everybody's talking about, oh yeah, let's go to the Chinese version. I'm like, that sounded cute in the beginning, but I wasn't adding. I mean, I have it, but I still have not gone over and created a profile, because I'm like, that I don't think that's the answer. I mean, the Chinese are kind of oppressed with their media and information too. So why would you think the Chinese version will be better than the American version? So you said Spotify donates 150K. Well, that's nice. I'm not a Spotify user, so I guess I'm screwed anyway, because yeah, Apple Music I use. And is Apple Music Jeff Bezos? No, that's Tim Cook. Well, first of all, Apple, well, yeah, damn, Apple did donate to him. Damn, we all fucked. So I'm like, yeah, but they're all scared. So now they're all trying to jump on his thing because they don't want to feel his wrath. Does anybody have balls out there? I guess it's all about the money, right? Okay, so let's get into this trash box. Let's talk about Bruce Jenner. Yeah, I know some people would just be getting mad. Like, I saw that on social media that people was getting pissed. Well, I had somebody in the comments that was like, well, not comments, but like on their page on Facebook, they'll say, regardless of how you feel about Caitlyn, nobody has the right to misgender them or whatever the case is. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. So it's okay for people like that, for like Caitlyn and so many others, to deny rights of people of color, LGBTQIA plus people, women, anybody who is considered part of a marginalized community. It's okay for them to discriminate and say that you don't have rights, but because you're rich and because you're over there on the other side in the silo with them rich folks, or you thinking that you're going to be a part of that situation, especially when Trump has denied that you're even a human being, because, he's got to do all that. He's got to put on this show because, when those people give money, you gotta pay your debts the minute you get in the office. So yes, Project 2025 is real. It is happening. But now, transgender attention whore Caitlyn Jenner has been criticized for continuing to support Donald Trump following his swearing in as the 47th president. The former Olympian who transitioned from Bruce Jenner to Caitlyn in 2015. So yeah, she's been a woman for over 10 years. Warmly welcomed Trump on Twitter shortly after his swearing-in ceremony on Monday, January 20th, and said, "Congratulations, Mr. President. Thanks be to God." Don't you just love when they sit up in here and try to use God as, a shield to spew their bullshit when they don't even believe in God? First of all, if Trump believed in God, why his hand wasn't on the Bible? Because you knew that shit was going to burst into flames if he touched it. So, child, they went in on Bruce on social media. Somebody said, "Congrats, Bruce. Huge day for you." Another one said, "Farewell, Caitlyn. Hello, Bruce." A second one said, while another chimed in, "Hey, Bruce, this is what you will be referred to legally based on his executive order." Another person said, "Mr. President told us to call you Bruce, by the way." Another person said, "Republicans are going to be sending you to the men's room, FYI." But then, of course, we have people out here who defended Bruce and said, one reminded critics to think before making jokes. And I want y'all to be mindful that no matter how weird Caitlyn is, your transphobic jokes and her replies are most likely to be seen by your trans friends and mutuals than her. Another person said, Bruce isn't claiming to be a non-binary unicorn. Trump says there are only two genders, and Bruce is claiming to be one of those. So I don't see where the outrage is. Well, let me point it out to you since you're fucking slow. Number one, you're saying that Bruce isn't claiming to be a non-binary unicorn. Nobody said anything about non-binary, even though they did say that you only have an identity of male and female. What this also means is that we're not just talking about non-binary, because I don't even think Trump can spell non-binary. What they're saying is that, yeah, there's only two genders, male and female. Bruce wasn't born female. He was born with a dick between his legs. So therefore, they don't even see it for you if you are transgender. Because didn't they also say something recently, like if you go to the airport and you got X on your ID, that you could be detained because they don't acknowledge you as certain gender. Now, here's the thing. Now, me looking at this picture, why is this giving me like, do it like a dude? Remember that song from Jessie J? I'm like, damn, you even shake hands like a goddamn man. I don't understand how you went and transitioned to a woman, but you still give the masculine male days. Like, what is it? And even on that side angle, I see Bruce, just Bruce with long hair. You look like a botched version of Jessica Lange. So I love how y'all want to sit up in here and talk about, well, I want you to be mindful that no matter how weird Caitlyn is, your transphobic jokes in her replies are more likely to be seen by your trans friends and mutuals. It's like, wait a minute. So what you're trying to say is that all trans people are a monolith? Because I don't insult my trans friends who got common fucking sense. I go in on people who are the not all skin folk or kinfolk brigade. Just like when I see these old ninjas out here, these coons and buffoons who sit up here shucking and jiving for the racists, and then have the nerve to sit up here and call me, let's come together and we need I'm not tap dancing for no racist no more. I never have. I don't deal with people who are just ignorant. I'm not kowtowing to ignorant ass people. Y'all don't get a pass. Not in my lifetime. And we got to stop making excuses and worried about, oh, well, my feeling like I got thick motherfucking skin. So You can't say nothing to me that I can't clap the fuck back at your ass on. So bring it, bitch. I'm ready because I got a clap back, and I know y'all be so quick with your block button or whatever. But all the shit y'all be saying on social media, you wouldn't say it in nobody's face because then your teeth be beating, you be swallowing your teeth and your lips and beating your ass in the hospital. So I don't understand how y'all sit up in here and always try to be defensive. Well, it's the other people are gonna see this and it's gonna hurt their feelings. If it don't apply, let it fly. So I'm not talking about all trans people. I'm talking about this bitch. That's what I'm talking about. And everybody don't get grace. I'm not giving grace to ignorant ass people. You put that shit out there and you say certain things. When Michelle Obama, that bullshit, when they go low, they go high. Now the I said the duck. When y'all go low, I'm going further down to the Earth's crust. I'm going all the way to hell. I'm going to the deepest part of Hades to drag your ass through the mud. So I'm not being demure and mindful of people's feelings. I'm gonna hurt your feelings till your ass go home and start crying. And you think about getting that rope and hanging yourself out your fucking window. That's how deep I'm going with your ass. I'm not giving motherfuckers grace no more. I'm not doing it. So when Bruce wanna come out here and say that bullshit, Bruce gonna get exactly what he put out there. And I don't care if people think about hanging out of hands. Get bent, motherfucker. That's what I gotta say on that. So, child, they had one person said Trump is finna have you remove and return your breasts at the local Walgreens. So you better find that receipt. He also said, make Bruce great again. Make Bruce great again. I'm like, did he say that? And I'm like, that'd be a cackle. Another person said, I'm very confused by your support of Trump. And they said Trump, as of today, will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there will be only two genders, male and female. Another person said, that's kind of you, Bruce. I assume this is what you voted for, right, sir? Another person said, his executive order will make you identify as Bruce again. Sorry. Another person said, when he said make America great again, he meant make Caitlyn Bruce again. And they got him in a picture hawking Tropicana orange juice. So another person said, don't thank him too loudly. Your time as Caitlyn is coming to an end. So a lot of people think like when y'all sit up in here and y'all vote against, for ignorance and all that other shit because you need clout and attention or whatever the case is, a lot of y'all think just because y'all got all that money that it protects you. And maybe to an extent you will be protected. But Trump does not see your ass as a human being. And since it's the game you want to play, I don't see your bitch ass as a human being either. So kick rocks, bitch. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story in regards to people trying to say, well, let's give Caitlyn grace and you shouldn't be calling her by her dead name and her former gender. But I'm like, if you don't see it for regular trans people out here who don't have the money or the wherewithal to float through this world unaffected by the things that Trump is going through, because I'm sure with your money and stuff, you can be able to get the things that you need to do. But you're making it hard for a lot of the younger people who identify as trans and are trying to make their way into the world, especially and trans people of color who are going to be heavily affected by this situation, more so than others, especially when we have a high death rate of trans women of color in this goddamn country that none of the mainstream media wants to talk about. I don't feel no ways tired about calling that motherfucker by his dead name. He can go eat a bag of dicks from homeless people over there on Skid Row. So I say all this to say, whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Was I heated or was I heated? It's like Caitlyn worked my root canal nerve. Okay. We lost TikTok because our views were anti-American because Free Palestine was seen as terrorism. And you know what? Trump started this mess. Then Biden, signed the papers. And then was like, oh, we'll try to do what we got to do to save TikTok. I'm like, first of all, idiot, you're the fucking president. Of course you could do something. But you were dragging your feet because you're beholden to Israel. So own it. Now you got Trump out here looking like the damn hero when he started this, put us in this mess in the beginning because the CEO of TikTok went down to Mar-a-Lago and was just like, see, look, you're trending on TikTok. People like you over there. You're popular. The young people love you. And he loves popularity. So that's why he saved it. But now he want to get in bed and talk about the possibility he want to buy it. And Elon Musk. Well, if that happens, I'm leaving. Google, I'm grateful. Refused to bend the knee. Shout out to them. And some other companies decided to not bend the knee to him. I saw Carol Cunningham also defending herself being a Trump. Who is it? I don't even know who that bitch is. I'm like, if she were a bigger name, then I would care. But I'm like, who's Carol Cunningham? I thought he was going to say Cara Delevingne. I'm like, not you being a lesbian and a Trump supporter. Buck Angel came out as a Republican. So did the Leave Britney Alone girl and Blair White. Adam Lambert liked the post that LGBT Democrats are terrorists for supporting Palestine. Did he? He said he liked the post that LGBT Democrats are. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Not that they were supporting Palestine. Look, Adam Lambert, don't have me windmill on you with that shit. Because if you out here talking about that you're against the whole free Palestine thing, then we're going to have a problem, sir. It's that formerly the Leave Britney Alone queen. Oh, I don't even know. You talking about. Oh, now I know who you're talking about. You talking about, what the fuck was his name? Then he did porn and he was doing music at one point. What was his ex name? Chris Crocker. That was his dad. So Carol Cunningham, I totally forgot that his name was that he was that he transitioned. The damn idiot. Ain't he from Tennessee? So it makes sense why his old slow ass would be out here supporting, Donald Trump. Well, ain't nobody now that Britney's free, he ain't got nothing else to be going viral for. But anyway, speaking of gay organizations and things, let's get into this final topic, which more award nominations have come out, and the latest is the GLAAD Media Awards were announced earlier today, and there was a surprise snub. They snubbed Emilia Perez, but we'll get into why in a second. So GLAAD has unveiled the nominations for its 36th annual GLAAD Media Awards, which honor fair, accurate, and that was laughable. Let me try to get through that again. Which honor fair, accurate, and inclusive representation of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer. Look, I can't keep a straight face reading this shit because we know it's accurate about GLAAD. We know when it comes, but we know it's about when it comes to white folks. But anyway, I'm on one today. Like I'm just over the bullshit. So Doshi, Billie Eilish, Wicked, and Abbott Elementary are among the list of nominees, but what the noms don't include was one of the most talked about films of 2024, or is Trans Star. So now vying for Outstanding Wide Release Film Prize is Cuckoo, Drive Away Dolls, Love Lies Bleeding, Mean Girls, My Old Ass, Problemista, Queer, and Wicked. Now up for the Limited Release Film Award are 20,000 Species of Bees, Backspot, Before I Change My Mind, Big Boys, Close to You, Crossing, Fitting In, High Tide, Housekeeping for Beginners, and A Place of Our Own. Half of these movies I ain't even never heard of. Except Mean Girls, Love Lies Bleeding, which I didn't think a lot of people liked Mean Girls. Love Lies Bleeding and Cuckoo. I've heard of that, of course, and I've heard Wicked and Queer. And I've heard of My Old Ass too, which I actually heard was a good one. And they said noticeably absent from the GLAAD noms is Jacques Audiard's Oscar contender Emilia Perez, which won the Golden Globe this month, and its trans star Carla Sofia Gascon, who also won a Globe and is up for SAG and BAFTA awards in February. Now, there's a reason for that, because apparently GLAAD feels like they're the litmus test of what is deemed great and non-great representation. That's why I laughed at that bullshit line in the beginning where they honor fair, accurate, and inclusive representation of the LGBTQIA, LMNOP, QRSTV, WSY, and Z community. So, back in November, GLAAD put out an article called Emilia Perez is Not Good Trans Representation, labeling the film, among other things, a profoundly retrograde portrayal of a trans woman and calling it a step backward. Meanwhile, there's a whole trans woman that's starring in it. And I believe I have a hand in writing it. So, who are you to determine what the litmus test is of what a good representation of a trans portrayal is? That you had someone who is that was in the mob that went and escaped along with their significant other and transitioned into a woman and that sort of thing. Like, who are you to determine who the litmus test is of transness? GLAAD. So they went on to say also, despite the snub, Netflix still dominated the GLAAD noms with 27 to lead all networks and platforms. ABC was the only other to muster double digits with 10. Prime Video got 9, and Hulu and CBS took 8 apiece. So, now in regards of who was nominated, Outstanding Film, Wide Release, Theatrical, Cuckoo, Drive Away Dolls, Love Lies Bleeding, Mean Girls, My Old Ass, Problemista, Queer, and Wicked. For Outstanding Comedy Series, Abbott Elementary, which sidebar was renewed for a 5th season, that came out yesterday on all the trades. Ghosts, Hacks, Loot, Sex Love of College, The Sex Lives of College Girls, Shrinking, Somebody Somewhere, Sort of, We Are Lady Parts, and What We Do in the Shadows. Now, Outstanding Drama Series, 911 Lone Star, Arcane. I do like Arcane though. I told you I was heavily into that show right now, and I can see why they did 911 Lone Star because of Darlos, where they have two of the couple that there's a gay couple and stuff on the show. Although I'm surprised they didn't have regular 911 because they got gay people on there too. They got a whole bisexual storyline and they got a gay storyline. There's 2 lesbians on the show, a lesbian couple, and then you got Buck, who's now, well, he's experimenting now because he and the other guy, Lou Ferrigno Jr., they're no longer together. They broke up. But now everybody's shipping him and Eddie, which why does us fans have been shipping Eddie and him for years. Eddie and Buck. So they had 911 Lone Star, Arcane, The Shy, Doctor Who, Found, Heartbreak High, Interview with the Vampire, which is like a gay show on TV, Star Trek Discovery. I couldn't stand the Umbrella Academy. I'm kind of glad it's gone. And then they have Wicked City. Now, outstanding new series, they have Agatha All Along, Black Doves, Brilliant Minds, D.R.O. from Detroit, Phantasmas, Has Been Hotel, How to Die Alone, Chaos, No Good Deed, and Palm Royale. Oh, I heard that show was very gay. The No Good Deed. Isn't that the one with Tyler Perry? I'm not going to hit you with a straight today, Tyler. But look, you got a nomination in the GLAAD Awards, so let's move on. Now, outstanding film, streaming, or TV. Am I okay? Fancy Dance, Good Grief, The Groomsmen, Second Chances, which is on the Hallmark Channel. The Holiday Exchange was on Amazon Prime and Peacock. Mother of the Bride, which is on Netflix. Ricky Stenicki, which I heard was god awful, from Amazon Prime Video. I think that was the movie with John Cena. Season's Greetings from Cherry Lane, which is on the Hallmark Channel. Sweethearts on Max, and Winona Earp, Vengeance, which is on Tubi. Look at Tubi get a nomination. Now, in regards to documentary, they have Breaking the News, Independent Lens, Campbell Addy, Photographer, Chasing Amy. I don't know if that's a typo or that's the actual title, but they had Chasing in there twice. Down in the Valley. Then they had Hidden Master, The Legacy of George Platt, Hummingbirds. But, well, there's a lot of them on here. I have no idea who they are. The only reason why I was bringing this up is because Little Nas X got a nomination for his Long Live Montero documentary. Now let's get to the juicy stuff because they got outstanding limited stuff. I don't care about the movie stuff. Let's get to the music. Oh wait, let's get to outstanding reality program. So they have Bargain Block, which is on HDTV. Big Freedom Means Business. I actually like that. First of all, Big Freedom Means Business. It's on Fuse, but they actually have the seasons on Wow Presents Plus, so I watch that there. Then they have The Boyfriend from Netflix, Queer Eye from Netflix. I'm over that tight-ass show. I never liked any of them seasons, so I don't even acknowledge them. I only acknowledge the Carson Kressley, Cayenne Douglas one, the originals. Then they have The Real Housewives of New York City. Hate this version of Real Housewives, so I don't care. I don't want them to win. Selling Sunset, on Netflix, Southern Trauma, Bravo, Wayne Brady, We're Here, Wigging Out with Tokyo Style. Actually, I like Tokyo Style. First of all, that's a trans woman that's doing hair and all this other stuff. That was coming on. I forget what show it used to come on after, but it was on WeTV. Oh, it was the Braxtons. That's what it was. But that was a good show too. Now they have outstanding reality TV program, The Amazing Race, Boulay Brothers Dragula, which I'm rooting for that on because only for that, because the Boulay Brothers up in there. The Challenge 40, Battle of the Eras, Finding Mr. Christmas, Hell's Kitchen, Head Chefs Only, I Kissed the Boy on Hulu, I Kissed the Girl on Hulu, RuPaul's Drag Race on MTV, Top Chef from Bravo, and The Voice on NBC. Now that's gonna be a hard one because y'all know I love me some Boulay Brothers Dragula. No shame, but I've always felt like they've exceeded um drag race in so many ways, and I just love the way that they do Dragula. So I would hope that they will win, but I have a feeling they probably gonna give it to damn Drag Race. And the Challenge, first of all, I've been loving this season of the Challenge. I heard people say it was boring. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck y'all was. What, you only here for the drama? Like, I love the challenges. That's why I watch it. But also the drama was cute or whatever. It wasn't all that bad. But I was thoroughly entertained by the Challenge 40. And first of all, they have All Stars coming out, I think this week or next week, which is bizarre. And they said this is the first time they're actually airing it on MTV because I think the days of Paramount Plus is numbered. That's what I've been hearing. So they're trying to get some kind of attention over there at MTV. So they want y'all to just watch it over there. But it's fine. I have Philo. So that's how I watch Drag Race and I watch The Challenge and I watch all that stuff there. I'm actually almost finished with this season of the Challenge. So Battle of the Eras has definitely been a good one. I'm just been mad, but so far they've been taking out the veterans. But but yeah, they got some gays over there. First of all, y'all already know I love me some Derek. That he's such a cutie. But it's him and Ryan. And I'm glad that from what I've been seeing so far, the gays have stayed around a lot longer than usual because I used to hate when I would watch the challenge how y'all will always go after the gays over the years. But the gays kind of been showing out. And they've been getting saved because of they have a lot of friendships with a lot of the girls. So the girls want to keep their gays around. So I'm like, yeah, exploit that shit as long as you can. But the funny thing was, what I love about it is that while some people feel like Ryan's been kind of skating along, Derek actually been pulling through with a lot of the challenges. So, and he did that with the All Stars from last season, and he's doing it in Challenge 40. So I've been liking like the gays been saying, but I've been saying this for the longest. Can we get a reality show where it's just like the challenge, but with homos, with the LGBTs? Like, can we get that? Or even like if y'all did a RuPaul's Drag Race, like a cross between RuPaul's Drag Race meets the challenge. If they could do something like that, where you pick all the past queens from Drag Race and have them do physical challenges and like mash it, maybe even mash it with the traders, which is sort of like some real mind fuck type stuff where you put people up for elimination stuff. Like that would be cute because you know the queers will bring the drama. We make good TV. So then they had I don't care about the children's program. Let's get to the music. So, outstanding music artist, Adam Lambert for Afters, More is More. So, wait a minute. Did he come out with an extension of Afters? Because I don't know about Afters. When you say More is More, then that means that extra music was attached. Because he only came out with a 4-track EP. I may have to look. Wait, hold on. Let me look that up right now. While it's on the brain. And then we'll get to the rest of the stuff. Mm-hmm. But he got a song called I Don't Care Much that came out in December. Um, I know, it's like I got all this dead air up in here. I'm like, is it there yet? Wait, it was like 6 tracks. I don't know. I don't see it. So I don't know. They up in here talking about more is more. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, let's move on. So then they have Billie Eilish, Hit Me Hard and Soft, Doechii, Alligator Bites Never Heal, Elton John, Never Too Late, soundtrack to the Disney Plus documentary. Joy Oladokun, Observations for a Crowded Room. I'm not sure what that album is because I'm not familiar with them. Kaliuchi, for their album. What is it? Orquideas? I think that's how you say it. Omar Apollo, God Said No, Orville Peck, Stampede, Tove Lo, Heat, and Victoria Monet, Jaguar 2, Deluxe. I was like, wait, why is I forgot? I think Victoria Monet is a bisexual, and Tove Lo is bisexual, and then Orville is a homosexual. We got Omar Apollo, who's a homosexual. I think is Kelly Uchi a homosexual or a bisexual, and then we already know Elton John's a faggot. Adam Lambert is a big old queen. Billie Eilish likes the girls, and Doechii is a bisexual. So this might be hard doing this outstanding musical artist because I like majority of these people, except Elton. But I like a lot of these artists, so it's gonna be hard to see who they pick up in here. Omar Apollo, I think, had a really good year though musically. Adam Lambert is on Broadway. Billie Eilish had a good year too. Doechii is definitely getting people. She's on her on people's radar, especially getting that boost from uh Drag Race. And then we have outstanding. We'll do two. Well, a couple more outstanding breakthrough music artists. B Dabu with B Dabadoo B. I think is how you say their name. They're up in here. The Blessed Madonna, Duran Bernard, Gigi Perez, The Last Dinner Party, Medium Build, Michaela J, Remy Wolf, Villano Antilano, and Young Miko. First of all, I like a lot of these artists over here. Villano, I absolutely love her music. She is a Brazilian rapper, singer. Like her stuff. Michaela J's album 13, I think it was 31, 13, something, one of them shits. I'm horrible with titles. Loved her album. Duran Bernard bitch had me losing my shit up in here. First of all, the amount of duck walks and pop dips and spins I was doing in my head to that album, because I ain't doing it for real. I ain't fucking up my knees. But Duran Bernard's latest album, when that came out, if y'all have not heard it, it is great. I love the Blessed Madonna's album. And so it's going to be a hard one trying to pick like best breakthrough musical artists. But I like the diversity. I wish we had some queer rappers up on here, but I like the singing part is diverse. Okay, so now let's get to one more and then we're done. So they have outstanding podcasts. And of course, mine is not on it, but whatever. Well, I've talked a lot of shit about GLAAD and some of the things that they do up in here, so they probably wouldn't even include my podcast up in here because I'm not somebody who plays the game. So, baby, this is Keke Palmer is one of the nominations, along with But We Loved, which is on iHeart. I don't know I'm not familiar with that podcast. Las Culturistas from iHeart made it out. Which is a part of Made It Out Media. Then they have Queer West, which is on Audible, Rooted Recovery, which is on Promises Behavioral Health, The Science of Transgender Healthcare, Puberty Blockers, and Conversion Therapy with Dr. Jack Turbin, The Checkup with Dr. Mike. Damn, that's a long title. Then they got Sibling Rivalry, Surface Level, and Tres Leches. Well, actually, Tres Leches is a good show. I like Sibling Rivalry. Las Culturitas, it depends on who they have as a guest. Otherwise, I'm not really a big watcher of their show. I've seen a couple of this Keke Palmer episode. The last one I saw was the one that she did with T.S. Madison. And I'm surprised that, why is Race Chaser not on here? Look, Race Chaser have been good lately. They had Naomi Smalls on there, so that's been actually a good, they've been doing some good episodes in regards to race chases and stuff when they were talking about the drag race recaps and all that other stuff. So with that being said, I ask all of you this: what do you think of the nominations for GLAAD and all that other stuff in regards to the queer representation, the people who are nominated? Who do you wish that was nominated, especially in the music category or certain films, whatever the case was? Do you think it was shade on them to try to act like they the litmus test in regards of not including Emilia Perez as a part of the LGBT nominees, whereas the mainstream is nominating it? And maybe some people feel like, well, of course, y'all would think that this is like how trans people are or how they should be represented. But I'm like, look, queer people are not a monolith. And if we're going to have these queer organizations like a GLAAD or whatever the case is trying to gatekeep what they deem is appropriate or how we should be represented, especially like I said, we're not a monolith. We're not going to sit up here and try to act like we're going to tiptoe through the tulips in regards to representation just because you don't want to have certain, depending on the subject matter, how those outsiders who don't see it for us regardless will perceive us in the mainstream community. I don't give a fuck about what they think. If you got a good story that you could tell and there's some queer representation up in there, then I'm here for it. But whatever, GLAAD. So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Robert says, watching the Kayla Says video when Trump was personally thanked, it scared the fuck out of people. I watched Kayla Says video yesterday when she was talking about TikTok and all that other stuff. Bit off topic, but can you explain why Jeff Bezos seems to have his hands permanently to Laura Sanchez hands, and why does she dress like a stripper? You talking about are you talking about when Mark Zuckerberg got caught looking at her breasts? I did see that photo, but I don't know. Do I ever think that he's actually gonna marry her? That'd be a good question. But I don't care enough about if they get married. First of all, there'd be a lot of money he gotta give up if they divorce. Elon Musk defied Trump over banning AI. Wait, so Trump tried to ban artificial intelligence and Elon is like, no, he doesn't want it because yeah, he uses it. Like he's a fraud. Didn't he get called out for like trying to cheat playing video games or something or another? And yeah, he uses AI because here's the thing, like recently wasn't it a lot of what was it? I think on Twitter that he was using like even before Trump won, he was using AI to come up with like fake photos or videos and trying to say like this is stuff that Kamala Harris was saying or making Trump look a certain way. And so he uses AI to spread misinformation. So of course he wants to keep it. And I already know that it's coming. Trump already said that he's not well versed on well, he's not quiet as his kept. He's not pretty much well versed on anything. But when it comes to big tech and this, that, and the other, he doesn't know anything about that. That he's aligning, he aligns himself with whoever is going to give him money. And, you know, now that the robber barons, and he had all of them up in there, and the oligarchs, he had them all up in there at the inauguration, all the rich people, all the richest people in the world, because they paid money. And now he's got to pay his debts. He's got to give them. I mean, he's making a lot of money too, but he's gonna have to pay off his debts now. And we're seeing the shit go down. So, um, this is gonna be an ongoing thing. Where every hour on the hour, we're gonna hear some stupid mess that Trump's out here doing. The mainstream media is gonna kind of just gloss over it like it's a bunch of nothing, but it's just up to us to call out the foolishness and just keep our eye on the ball. It's gonna be a long 4 years. It's going to be a lot of trepidation, a lot of mess, a lot of craziness going on, and we just got to stay vigilant, stay woke. So I say all that to say we are at the end. With that being said, I should say, we are at the end of today's show. I want to thank you all for tuning in to the latest episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Be sure to hit that like button and that subscribe button. Also, be sure to smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I want to thank you all for chiming in with me with the latest hot topics and this, that, and things of that nature. And until next time, ciao, darlings.